So this is like the top 4 ExileCon players, right? ExileCon 3 right here.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
2027. Totally.
Probably.
Yo,
I mean, I'll see you again. That's for sure.
What are you saying about the other 2 people in here?
You think they'll have ExileCon 2027?
Maybe. I mean,
Who knows?
PoE2 launch. I could see it. That Tencent money,
Yeah.
you know.
Backline at the top now. No, it ain't.
I'm sure
just,
it's
like,
cool
start
for the
jumping
devs
down
to
my
be able
own.
to show like what you've been working on, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point, like, I don't know if we'll lose access to PoE2 at some point, and then it like goes dark for a while while
like,
they're
it
like
goes dark.
developing it.
Nah,
Like, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing.
I don't think so.
They'll have like what leagues every 6 months, like at the minimum, like probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
So far, the development of Path of Exile 2 is like felt like a little slow. Don't lie.
Well, it's just because it's a December release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
But you'd almost feel like for me, I was under the impression that they'd have things like at least preloaded a little bit.
No.
Yeah, no, they're like literally working fucking last minute on everything. Fucking GGG.
I mean, they're like a bit blown away though, right? But like how many people are playing?
Oh,
Like, it's
yeah.
like surpassing all expectations. And like,
Dude,
I imagine they're
crazy.
all playing it themselves. Like their job is
Yeah.
like, all right, play the game. That's their job right now. Just play the game.
Probably.
Yeah. So
They'll probably like had like a plenty of time to do that through December as well.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
I'll
like
touch
how many
soon.
of them actually like game hard.
So one thing that changed my perspective on December releases was back in Metamorph League, they kind of released Metamorph League, made like 1 or 2 patches, and then just kind of dipped for like 3 weeks. And it was fine because Metamorph League was a banger, except it had one
It was a
bug where you
banger.
couldn't freeze the Metamorph, and my only defensive layer on like
dude.
cast on crit
Oh.
freeze was freezing the Metamorph, but I couldn't do that. So like 300 of my 305 deaths were to Metamorphs that I couldn't freeze.
Wasn't it just?
Dude,
I
I-
remember that actually. Wasn't it because like you were
Yeah.
playing Ice Shot or some shit, and then you just
No, I was playing cast on crit.
Oh, okay.
I was
I think it
I
was
had the same
thought it
thing.
was playing Ice Shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was the same thing. I was playing GC Mines and I couldn't freeze the
Yep.
things. I was like, fucked.
Fuck.
Yeah. And it was just like that for like 3 weeks straight.
That's crazy.
I was like the hardcore race, the Awaken race. So
So you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
die 300 times, is what you're
yeah, I
saying.
did die 300 times.
That's fair enough.
Can't relate, guys. I'm sorry.
Listen, dude, I made the swap over to cast on crit at 7 hours. It was kind of tough.
Okay, to be fair, I started Cold Snap and I was like, yo, this build is not it. And I rerolled like Skeleton Marauder or something. I'm like, that build was it. That was a good build.
Skeleton?
Whoa,
Marauder.
dude, that is like the opposite of what I would say.
Yo,
That's
that was a good
insane.
build.
Probably still is. All
I
P1
think-
builds are gonna be crazy compared to PoE2 builds.
I know, right? Like, Skeleton Marauder is faster than any PoE2 build.
Yeah, how was our
Yeah.
sound check? The sound sounding good.
Nah, it's not. No, the builds are not even slow. It just
I know. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
yeah.
Are the boys like
Like
are
even
the
on Word,
volume and
like,
stuff?
okay, actually, I mean, it's not really the classes. It's more there's like a couple things that are in the game that should not be in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna
badass.
say, don't you think that every class is just kind of abusing like a few things, and a lot of classes have some overlap of what they're abusing? And
Yeah,
that's what's
Heralds for
making them like
sure,
really
dude.
strong.
Heralds are
Pretty much.
crazy.
Heralding it up.
Heralds are fucking crazy.
I'm surprised those are like still in. I thought that would get like hotfixed like immediately, but
I thought it would
Yeah,
get fixed
not-
too. I mean, it's probably my favorite thing about PoE2 so far.
Wait, what are we talking about?
the Heralds.
Equipping
Oh,
Pulse
dude.
Kieran with some Herald of Ice.
Armor
I see
explosion
Card in a
guidance
breach
is
right
really-
now, and his screen freezes, and it's just like
Yeah.
he's playing
Bro,
up.
I'm just
Dude, it feels
seeing
good.
fucking flashes on Karn's face. You know what's
Yeah.
going on there, bro.
Exactly.
It is actually kind of funny. Yeah, I noticed that.
This is some Herald of Ice action, bro.
We got the evidence right here.
I mean, listen. The thing is, like, Armor Explosion did the same thing, just not as
Yeah.
absurd, and they got fucking
Yeah.
deleted
Bug
instantly.
fixed. I mean, because
The
of
bug fix, that was not
Warrior,
even a bug, dude. That was
Yeah.
not even a bug. It's just because it was Warriors. It's like, oh yeah, Warriors can't have fun. Fucking fix that right now.
Did you
They
reroll
fucking called the
Monk?
task force. What?
Are you still playing Warrior at the moment?
Yeah, I'm a Warrior.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
okay.
Warrior guy.
Just a
It's
Warrior with
crazy
Herald of
stuff.
Ice and all that shit, bro. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking. I wanted to do that since day 2, but I couldn't because Warrior is a dumb fucking class that needs 7,000 strength to play the game, and that's not possible when you also
Yeah.
need a bunch of chaos res. Otherwise, you get one shot by everything. You know, so it took me fucking forever to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Because I dropped the
Yeah.
ring second day, I think, of the league. And I was like,
Oh,
oh shit,
shit.
it looks insane with the roll device.
Yeah, it's
But I
weird.
could never do it because you need too much strength and all the other stuff.
Yeah, they shouldn't have doubled the keystone, like the fucking requirements. That's really, really harsh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
don't know
Giant's
what.
blood.
Yeah,
Like, changed it to a triple, right?
yeah, that's so cooked.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
Then when they did that, I was like, bro, why? Like, there's
Yeah,
no
they,
way that's
they just
right.
straight away. Bro, the day before launch, they like doubled the time it takes to spawn like blood orbs on blood mage, and also like halved its fucking crit multi. And it's like, and it shipped
Oh, yeah,
out
yeah,
as
yeah,
like
yeah.
the literal worst class in the game. It's like
Well,
crazy.
I mean, okay, no, okay. Listen, war exists, all right. So
no,
we
it
can,
was worse than
no,
war. Like the class was literally unplayable, bro. You would just like permanently
Yeah, it
kill
was pretty bad.
yourself. Like yeah. Like it was even
yeah.
when you spec the leech, like you couldn't sustain. Like you every
Oh yeah,
boss
the leash
fight,
was shit. Yeah,
every
leash was
boss fight,
bad.
you just like run out of flasks because you're just killing yourself the whole time. Like yeah,
Yeah, I can see it actually.
it was horrible, man. It was horrible. Our league started that shit.
Yeah, that's why I didn't start. I wanted to
Ew.
play Blood Mage, but I was like, yeah, this looks too risky. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys like
also-
check the forums every day for like upcoming changes and improvements or like something?
Yes.
No, I just know they're not coming, so I don't bother
No,
checking.
They're not coming? Dude, surely.
Well,
like,
they'll
seems
come
like-
now, but like,
Yeah.
if you've been checking for the last month, dude, you're like,
I've been
how
checking
was
like last
original?
5 days. Last 5 days.
Okay,
Once
last
the new
5
year
days,
kicked
I can
over.
understand.
I'll be waiting, bro. I'll be waiting anxiously. I'm like
Um,
currently in like limbo where like I don't want to reroll, but at the same time like I'm bored as fuck of what I'm playing. So it's what do I do?
I
Yeah,
just
you don't want to
figure
get
if
nerfed,
something,
right? So
Yeah.
if something happens, I'll hear it through the grapevine. You know what I mean? I'll see it
That's
on
true.
Twitter.
Heard through the
tomorrow.
grapevine.
Like, I don't need to check the forums.
The whispers. Yeah, fair enough.
Anyways,
wake
up
let's
to
Reddit
go to
going
get
crazy.
started.
Yeah. I did the
I
sound
didn't
check
mean
and
to just-
everything. We're sounding good.
Okay,
so
cool.
I'll probably do like a more official intro. All right. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to BLASTCAST. I'm Tuna. I'm director of Maxwell Path of Exile, and I'm joined here today by some of the greatest gods of Path of Exile racing. It's Tai Killer. He's got many world records under his belt. And we got Karn, who's been a hardcore racer and is also currently racing to level 100 on his warrior. And Havoc, who is the first person ever to reach level 100 in Path of Exile 1, but also is doing a lot of work racing in Path of Exile 2 and putting out a lot of twink guides and guides on Maxroll and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for joining us, boys. Hope you guys are having a good day, and hope you've been enjoying Path of Exile 2. So
Yo, what up?
there was like a lot of things that I wanted to ask you guys specifically about like racing, but the podcast itself can sort of go into whatever direction you guys want to take it. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys in general, like, what sort of races do you enjoy the most, and what sort of races would you like to see the most in Path of Exile 2? Because I would ideally like to frame this podcast as like feedback for the devs in case they ever want to actually get racing back up and running, because it hasn't been a thing in so long in Path of Exile. So it would be kind of like, yeah, what would be the best case scenario for you guys in general for racing?
I can start if everybody's cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My favorite so far has been Act 1. Act 1's a banger from start to finish. Like, it's just a good act. It's pretty well paced. Like, I enjoy the boss fights. I don't think it's like too crazy. It's about a little under an hour or so.
Yeah.
It's a little over if you get really unlucky, but like Act 1 is honestly just such a banger. And then Act 2, the issue is Act 2 is suddenly 50% longer because you have to do lab and you have to do like 19 trillion different side zones, and I just get kind of bored. And I've literally not been able to finish an Act 3 run because I keep falling asleep because it's a 6-hour run. And so maybe I think it is just a bit of a skill issue. Like, we don't know, build X at the moment. But so far Act 1's been kind of a banger. That's my preferred race format.
Yeah.
But I do think that the longer you have a speedrun, the less RNG it is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. But there's also downsides to it being longer, Ryan.
Oh yeah. It's harder to practice. It's less accessible for people, I would say.
Can't really do live events either, right? Like the race is too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I think beyond
I don't
like
e-
3 hours already, there's like a heavy
Yeah,
drop off
yeah.
in interest, like when it comes to like
Exactly.
viewership and stuff, right?
Yeah, like I was thinking we could probably get Act 6 down to like, 8 hours maybe at best.
Sounds
And then
understandable.
it's like And then imagine you're at ExileCon. It's like, all right, time for the 8-hour speedrun. Like nobody's gonna watch that, dude.
They're not doing that. No, we start at like 9 a.m. and then they just do the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, it's 4 p.m. guys. Where are they? So,
Yep.
I mean, I would be down. Just saying, that'd be kind of fun.
I'd be down, but I don't
That's
think anybody
so
would
long.
watch that.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
just
I mean,
so
yo,
long, man.
free trip to New Zealand. Like, I'm not complaining. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fair play.
Anyways, go ahead.
What about
Havoc.
you, Havoc? What do you think?
Are we feeling?
the question was, what do I want racing to be in Path of Exile 2, or like feedback for the
Yeah.
devs?
Like, what would your most ideal race be for Path of Exile 2
Ideal
if you were
race?
to make one?
Okay, so I definitely feel the same as Tai. Like Act 1's like definitely a banger. It's like because it's just like boss after boss after boss. It's like really sick.
Yeah.
I originally felt the slog in Act 2, but like now I'm like starting to like it. But it might be because I'm doing the twink runs and like it's actually like, kind of fast now.
Yeah.
Definitely the same way by Act 3 though. Act 3 is like some of those zones are like way too long. Like the waterways, right? Like, yo, what's with those levers? Like,
Yo, what
they're basically like the same thing as like doors that like you have to click to open, right? And it's like there's a big
Yeah.
animation, right? So they need to like I don't know, just remove them all together or something. Because then like I feel like it might be stomachable at that point. So I guess the feedback is like, okay, really analyze like the size of some zones, just like make them smaller and stuff, and just like everyone said, like I feel like a lot of people are saying Act 1's like sick, and like it's because of the bosses, right? So like
Yeah.
have the frequency of bosses just be like just higher. I think that would be like the one point of feedback I would give.
Yeah, it's true. It feels very boss rushy, Act 1.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you're
fun.
just basically hopping, like every zone is like got a boss, and it just feels really fun. But later acts they do kind of like lose that a little bit. What about you, Karn? What do you think, bro?
I think level 100 races at this pace look really
Yeah,
nice. We should do
buddy.
we should do more
I
of those,
do.
man.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, one of those. Like it's pretty nice. Like one level is only 200 hours. Like it's no big deal. It's fine.
Not bad.
True.
Yeah.
How many hundreds
Yeah, it's
are
not
there?
200.
Actually, I don't even know. How many level hundreds are there even?
There
I don't know.
is-
There's none in SSF. I think I'm ranked 2 right now on the ladder. There's a guy like 70 mil ahead of me, so not that far ahead.
There are
Um,
7 in softcore trade. That's it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because the difference between SSF and trade for XP right now is fucking like it's fucking massive. In
It's
SSF, it
insane,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. Yeah, because you get to actually do tier 16s all the time, and you get to have good tablets. Like the difference
Mm-hmm.
between a random like 80 map and an 82 map with proper tablets, multiple breaches, bonus XP, all that stuff it's ridiculous. It's like so yeah, no, obviously not 100. That's crazy right now, but. I've done acts only once, so I don't really know. All I remember is that I really liked Act 1 because yeah, like you said, there's like bosses, just boss after boss after boss. I made Warrior look really good too, by the way, because that's probably why I think coming to PoE2, like, oh yeah, Warrior is very good, and I'm like, right now can't really say that, but
Heard
But,
Warrior's OP
that's-
during the campaign.
yeah, in campaign it's
Yeah.
very good. I always felt like Warrior is very good in campaign, mostly because yeah, you just go from you fight a lot of bosses. And War is very good. It was pretty good against bosses during campaign. But I don't know. But and then later on, yeah, it's like too much running and going to massive zones and backtracking and stuff, right? So, ideal race. I mean, it has to be. I haven't really given much thought to it, but I think I would probably agree with Titan Havoc on that one. It'd be maybe. Honestly, even just the first act. Act 1. Like, how long is Act 1 right now if you speedrun it, Tai or Havoc?
Like-
I don't know if because
Like 50 to 60 minutes.
The Twinker is like half an hour.
Yeah. The issue, in my opinion, with the PoE2 campaign is sometimes I'll have like just a crazy RNG, like, oh, I just got a good weapon, so now I just shaved off like 8 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
And like
That's
there's,
true.
there's no skill involved whatsoever. I'm playing the exact same. In fact, I could be playing worse, but oh, I have a weapon that does 3 times the damage as my other weapon.
Do you feel like that's also the case with layouts to a degree right now?
Not as much because it's a IQ gap, right? It's one of the like just
Okay.
like sometimes I just die to a boss that I shouldn't be dying to, and I lose like an extra minute and a half, and it's like, oh, that's a me issue. That's not the game issue.
Makes sense.
But like, okay, when we're talking about races, like for example, that to give feedback, are we talking about like what type of events it would be? Because we can have bus races are also good, right? But
Yeah.
this is like it can be over multiple days. But these, I think like bus races could also be nice, like races to What would be the earliest boss you can do?
The Devo.
It's
Nice
definitely not
quickly.
Arbiter. See, that's the problem. Like, you can't do races to Arbiter because it's such massive RNG.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I literally had,
Yeah,
I had 13 frags of 2 of the Citadels, and I was missing 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
My spread was
RNG
like
is
13,
insane.
13, 0. It was crazy.
The most
There are a few
consistent
other
is like
streamers that
Zesh,
understand.
right?
Zesh is farmable. That one's not a problem. You can just farm
Mm.
it. Just to kill monster fast, you get it, right? So that's all.
For sure.
So that would be the best one. If we were to do something like that, it would be a race to Zesh, for example, would be something that's doable. Or Zesh 4 even.
Zesh 4, I don't know. I feel like after like somebody would kill the boss once, that's kind of like
Yeah.
the spell is like gone, right? Because you see them kill a boss and it's like, oh, but he didn't kill the same boss. That's harder. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be like
Yeah,
the first
also-
to killing a boss, I suppose. But I
There's
do
also
wonder.
the viewer perspective. Sorry to cut you off, but there's also the viewer perspective of like, oh my god, he's killing the boss. Like,
Yeah.
he's killing the boss for the third time. He needs to kill
Exactly.
him.
Exactly.
You know,
True.
we've had that issue before. Speedrun. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking because like the citadels themselves were killing act bosses, right? And the act bosses is like we have the act 1 boss, we have the act 2 boss, and then the other guy is the act 3 boss. But like what's gonna happen once we get act 4, 5, 6, right? Are we getting like
Oh.
new fragments, or are we getting a new boss, or like what's going on there, right?
New boss probably.
Yeah,
they
Always
could
only
also-
fire. Like, you can't have like one boss. The only boss, like the main boss, being okay, it's like fire stuff, and all you have to do is a fire res. Like, it's kind of weird.
Could also be placeholders
yeah, it could be placeholder.
for different bosses. You know, like they could have like Elder Guardians or something.
Yeah.
I think there's like a real world where like the end game we have right now is like totally scrapped and like drastically changed.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Well,
it-
100%.
feels
feels
like
like-
undercooked right now.
Yeah, it feels like the end game we have is like, you know, when you're rushed on your school project and nobody in the group worked on anything, so then you like scrap together something and like it's a passable grade. Like I would give it an A, maybe a B plus or something.
Yeah.
But the issue is just it's very undercooked, like Havoc said. It's not
Yeah,
finished. Yeah, you can feel it.
We can
Don't
feel it
confuse
because
it.
we played Path of Exile so long,
Yeah.
right? Like, and we're just
Yeah.
used to
Played-
like the level of content that we're getting in Path
Yep.
of Exile 1. But I think what's funny to see is that like how insane the retention has been for Path of Exile 2, which kind of like speaks volumes about the gaming landscape as a whole, and the fact that like people are really, really, really loving Path of Exile, and that's because, you know, at its base, it's a pretty crazy
Yep.
and amazing game, and the content itself is already like fairly decent for early access. But I do agree with you. I think like endgame at the moment needs cooked a little longer. It feels like definitely like if you play it X amount of hours, it's just boring.
Yep.
But
I mean, you can't blame it. Like, it's normal. It's early access. It was
Yeah,
just
no,
supposed to be
exactly,
end game to have end game. Like, I don't place any judgment on the end game right now because we know it could just be a placeholder, like you said. So I don't care too much about that. I care more about
exactly.
conscious design decisions they make more than anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it'll be really telling to see like once they drop this upcoming patch, right? To see like where they stand on a lot of those things, as you said, like design decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool to see. But like as of right now, what's the racing meta like? Like what class is the best, and what do you guys consider to be the fastest? Like if you were to actually go into a race right now, like of course, like if you don't want to give away anything specifically, in case there is a
Oh, I
race,
don't-
it's like you don't have to.
I don't think we know. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't think we have enough time like cooking up. I'm just playing Ranger because I think it's cool. I know Havoc's doing a lot of twink runs because those are cool. I know Karn's just playing Warrior
Herald of
because he
Ice.
thinks that's cool. Yeah.
No device.
But,
That's the
like,
meta.
That's what I'm
like-
saying.
It would probably take at least one like big global race for us to like even figure that out, and then we might just do the thing where we all hop on something, call it the new meta, even though it's not the best thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're
Yeah,
all
It's
just,
like
like,
easy
a
to
bunch of-
learn, right? And like
Yeah,
everyone's just doing that. So like,
Yeah,
I
we're
know
all
what you mean.
we're all just kind of like rats that just kind of hover over to like whatever seems to be working for somebody, even if it's not like the best thing.
yeah.
And so it could even take like 2 or 3 races for us to like really figure out the meta. But as it currently stands, I don't think we know. I've just been doing Ranger because I do a Ranger run and then I go, oh, I could play better. Oh, I could play better. Oh, I could play. And just
Yeah.
like I'm not at the peak of of Ranger yet, so
So
I just keep doing that. It's just
I've been
fun.
doing a lot of twink runs. And so yeah, just like that, I don't know, right? 'Cause I haven't really done the S stuff runs yet. But like if everything is viable, like then the classes that have movement speed, right? Like monk
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
ranger, then in theory they might be the fastest. But like that's not like accounting for like, you know, bossing efficiency, because like minions kind of have crazy single trigger, right? Like maybe minions are actually the best class. Like no one really knows, right? For the twink runs, I can tell you what I think is gonna be fastest there. I do think it's gonna be monk and ranger. My last
Yeah,
run was yesterday on Spark Stormweaver. I got 449 for all 6 acts, which is like kind of
Okay.
crazy. Like I wasn't expecting a
Yeah.
sub 5. It's like pretty insane. And like that might just be like PC diff, because like I changed some like settings or something, and like that might be why my time like got reduced by half an hour. I don't even know. So I think with like a bit more practice and just like knowing more, like twink runs can probably get down to like 4 hours for like all 6 acts for like really good
Yeah.
builds. And then I was surprised when you said 8 hours earlier, Tai, for like the SF
Was
runs.
that?
Yeah, because I feel like the SF runs they're on like 20 minutes slower, I think. But I haven't really done
Really?
them too much yet, right? Because I was just comparing
Yeah.
like your Act 1 times to like my SF runs. Like, oh, it's like around 20 minutes, right? You know, roughly.
20 minutes.
Look, Act 2, it's like, yeah, it's like
that's
roughly
like-
20 minutes.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
that's like a god run, right? Like that's like
That's fair.
oh my
That's fair.
god, I have the god seed. Every layout is coming
Yeah.
together. I've got the bow of destiny. I'm
The
playing
bow
build
of
deck.
destiny. True.
The
So maybe
book,
so maybe 8 hours is pretty good. So maybe it's like a long range. It's like good run, 2 hours slower, like the god run, but then like the average run's like 3 hours slower or something. So,
Yeah, something like that. And it's also like a skill issue. The biggest issue with answering your question, Tuna, is let's say that like I do a handful of ranger runs, and then I do a handful of warrior runs, and I do a handful of monk runs, and then I do a handful of sorceress runs. By the time I get to the sorceress, my base level of skill will be so much higher that at that point it's hard to compare the two builds, right? Because I can't compare like run number 120 to run
Yeah.
number 30. So
I feel you.
it's
Just because your
it's,
skill level is increasing as you're
yeah.
doing more and more runs.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes
Like,
I
sense.
don't know why I'm doing the twink runs right now, because like they're just faster, right? So like just picking up all those like tiny 100 small things per run and just like trying to do it quickly, right? Like same thing with layouts in like PoE1. You don't solve
Yeah.
layouts on like a 3 movement speed character. You go on like your super high level Queen of the Forest, 700% movement speed, right? And like repeat the zone over and over. So
Yeah.
at least that's what I'm trying to do with twink runs, just like build that knowledge first and then see what happens.
There's been a few layouts that have upset me so much that I've just been like, you know what? I'm learning this layout, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so much easier now. And I've done like 15 runs and messed it up almost every
Do you
single
think they're
time.
easier than PoE1?
But there's a lot. There's not many layouts. But the issue is, I think. Okay, this is my 2-head, but possibly 5-head like strategy or idea.
Yeah.
Is that I think that a lot of layouts are seeded. Like I think your
They
account
are.
when you
They are.
create it.
Swear.
Like if you have like a softcore trade account and you make another softcore trade character, your map when you open up the map is going to be the exact same. Like the UI map. Like if you open up the
No,
weapon-
but that's because I think that's because it's class related. I think
Yeah.
each class.
Apparently
has
it's
one,
per class.
Yeah.
is
You
it
have like a
like
set
if I
of
made-
layouts per class.
Yeah.
So if
I
I'm in the
see.
Iron Manor, like Candle Mass will always spawn in like 1 or 2 spots, and the exit will always be like in the certain area or something. If I'm like a sword,
I'm pretty sure no matter what class you play, it'll be in like it'll be on the first floor. It'll be towards the northeast, right?
The top left.
So it's like there's like a couple places where it can be.
Yeah, but the exact variation, the class definitely has an impact. I'm like pretty
see.
sure.
That's
yeah.
crazy. I didn't notice.
The thing
Wait,
I haven't tested though, but I did hear is that like apparently hardcore and hardcore stuff gets harder layouts than softcore. And I don't know if it's true or not.
It's gotta
Chat
be
was
some
saying.
code.
Chat was saying.
Okay.
Softcore gets easier layouts apparently. I don't know
But
if it's
no,
true.
I
That'd
think
be
that once we get migrate all, it might change that, and I think that like your like account seed or whatever will be like reset whenever
That'd
you
be very funny.
like migrate all. But we don't have migrate, so I can't test my theory.
Yeah. That's definitely holding it back too, because like no one wants to
Yeah.
like do SF runs like, oh man, I gotta like buy items, set my goal to
Oh,
0. Like I
So
don't want to do
so I
that.
figured it out. The best way to do
Yeah.
it is just to control shift to buy Scrolls of Wisdoms down to 0 gold, and you can sell Scrolls of Wisdoms for 2
Oh,
gold,
yeah.
and there's a lot of things you can sell for 1 gold. So you
That
can just
makes
do a little
sense.
bit of quick math to go down to 0 real quick. But it's
That's-
really annoying doing that
That's
like
crazy.
each individual run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super tedious.
And then, you can't fix the stash issue, so whatever.
And obviously you can't have like a racing account because that's like an extra $30 too.
Yeah, I can't just have a second account.
mean,
and
you
I can't
could.
just like make a new one.
Dude,
Well,
you're a streamer. Spend those streamer bucks.
Yeah,
listen, dude, I gotta. Here's the thing.
He's
Here's
right,
the
you know?
thing, right?
Here's the thing.
I have a lot of IRL friends that bought Path of Exile 2, and I have an ego, so I thrive when they message me. What the hell? You have 200 hours played on PoE 2?
That's fair.
Yeah, I do.
That's fair.
Yeah, true.
I'm not racking that number up on a second account. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting that number up, baby.
I
You
play
could always like
standalone.
AFK on your main account while you're like racing on your other account. It's the strats, dude.
I get it.
Speedrunning hours, bro.
I see. But yeah, I've been really happy with the with how popular PoE2 is. Like I actually have like IRL friends that I haven't talked to in like years, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, yo, it's the best build. Like, oh shit, I forgot you were real. My bad.
Yeah, it has
All good,
it, bro. It hit that level of like notoriety. That's D4 did,
Yeah.
right? Like
I mean, that's
Yeah,
because
that
of D4.
the game
it's
is
because of
actually
D4.
good.
For real.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is
D4 has
because of
helped a lot.
D4. Yeah. Like
I mean, I
always say that D4 is like the best marketing. D4
Yeah.
common has the best
True.
publicity PoE2 has gotten.
I had a couple friends that started playing PoE1 because they were playing D4 and they were like, yeah, I finished my build and I don't know what to do anymore. And I was like, dude, play some PoE. Log
That's
in, dude.
sick.
Log in, dude.
I can't wait to play
Actually-
PoE 1.
yeah.
Play, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Next
really
month
looking
for
forward
sure,
to it.
right? Copium.
Yeah, guys.
Bro,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Dude, this month. They're dropping the trailer tomorrow. Oh
No,
my
they're
God.
dropping the announcement of the announcement this month. I'm pretty sure.
Alright, fair enough.
I'll take anything at this point, bro. Honestly,
Shit.
be looking forward to it.
250,000 people playing PoE right now. PoE2 right now. That's crazy.
There was
Right
like
now,
300k
that's insane.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and
You know-
like the level of retention is like actually crazy. It's middle of the week, bro. 250,000.
That's wild. For like noon on a Wednesday. This late into it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the player count will go down. It'll start dwindling quite a bit, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
spike back
actually-
up whenever they release the new patch or something, I expect.
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. If
I mean,
they
there's
do
a
like
ton
a
of people
really
that are
decent
just-
job with the, like actually like drip feeding some of the information, so the streamers and
Mhm.
the YouTubers will make the videos and stuff. That'll bring a lot of people back. So I think people
Yeah.
are just waiting for a reason to either make a new character or to like actually go deeper into endgame.
Oh, for sure.
But back to some of the racing questions that I wanted to ask you guys. So we went through like the classes, I guess, but what about WASD versus click to move? How do you guys feel about that? Has that changed like racing at all? Like,
I think it just depends on what you're playing. I think WZ is mostly a thing you want to use on characters that can attack while moving.
Yeah.
If your character can attack while moving, I think you have to play WZ. And if it doesn't, like Warrior, for example, then you don't really need to. But then again, I think inventory management might be easier with WSD. I don't know. You guys can chime on that because I haven't done any early game stuff yet.
Go ahead,
I-
Havoc.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You can do a lot of things while moving. You can actually move during load screens with WASD, but that might just be
Yeah.
like a PC diff or something. I don't know.
holy shit!
Um, yeah. Like I was like load into Act 3 and I'll run down the stairs of Agrat
Yeah.
all the way to Alva during the load screen.
Yeah,
So,
What the?
dude,
yeah.
I
it's
will
pretty
like
crazy.
Talk about-
completely travel like across the town in the time the loading screen is because it's so long.
They are so long. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to EU.
Welcome to you. Actually, yeah, you guys are getting
Dude,
the
that
EU.
sucks.
It's
I
easier to
can't
play on a
hit shit
treadmill
back
with WSD. I'll tell you that too. Just
That
for anyone
totally
else
makes
playing on a
sense.
treadmill out there, WSD is pretty good for that. So just saying.
That's a very unique problem to
Yep.
have.
No, don't worry.
Uh,
I'm making a change. Josh Strife Hayes, he just bought a treadmill too. I'm pretty sure it's because of me.
Oh,
So,
Oh
there you
yeah,
go.
dude, that's sick.
Yeah,
Nice.
starting a trend.
So the thing is I've done speedruns on both. You can't vendor walk with WSD, but you can still vendor walk if you use like mouse.
Oh, really?
And
Oh.
so yeah, and so
Yeah.
there's some things you can do with WSD that you can't do with mouse, and there's some things you can do with mouse that you can't do on WSD. I don't
Yeah.
think we'll figure it out anytime like relatively
Sick.
soon. There's a lot of like feeling to it as well. Like some runs I feel so good using WSD that I wouldn't feel good doing like left mouse. But I'm sure there's a lot of builds where you could just, use left mouse and it'd be perfectly fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think for speedrunning, you just swap in between the two.
Is there a
Yeah,
hockey
yeah,
for that?
I've tried it. There's no
You-
hotkey, but you can change it without without going out to loading screen. For some reason, if you hit escape and you go to like the
The interface.
input
Oh, yeah.
options,
Yeah.
if you click the drop down, it'll say nope, you can't change from mouse and keyboard to
shit.
WSD. But if you click the like bar
The
underneath
button.
it, it'll just swap
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's
I
what.
don't
That's
know
what I did.
why. That's the most
Wait.
counterintuitive UI thing I've ever seen in my entire
crazy.
life.
I didn't
But
even know it was
it
not
works.
possible. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I always did it like this. The couple times I tried, I did it like that. I didn't know that was not supposed to work.
Yeah, I don't know. I was getting mad because I wanted to like switch back and forth like every now and again, and somebody was like, "What? You can just click the bar."
Okay, new feedback for GGG. Enable vendor walking with WASD, so I don't have to like swap my keybinds every time I go to thing.
I would be down to swap back and forth. I like the little like sweaty type. Like,
I mean, it's cool,
the
but
issue-
like, you know.
The issue is hitting escape and then going to the options and then going to
Yeah.
UI and then clicking it and then hitting like accept and then hitting accept again. Like it's too much just to be able to vendor walk in town once is the conclusion I've come to. So it's whatever you feel most comfortable on the rung.
Do you feel it's easier than PoE1, like with the mouse versus mouse, vendor walking?
I don't know.
Same? Same?
Yeah, it's the same, I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
I would
it's
like
like it's like if you were to play League and then you play Dota, and it's like, how do you feel? How difficult it is to move your character? Like, I don't know. I've
Oh, the
10,000
camera
hours of League.
rotation speed feels awful. I just gotta say that.
It's horrible.
Oh, in Dota or
Yeah,
in
yeah.
PoE.
Dota.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Camera rotation. You don't rotate
Well,
camera.
like your character has
the
to like
character
turn or
turn
something,
speed.
or character
Yeah.
turns.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
server. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you mean your
No,
character.
that
'cause
that
you-
definitely feels
yeah.
awful. But yeah,
Listen.
it's a similar thing where it's like I'm so used to one thing that switching to another wasn't like a noticeable difference. It
That's
feels
fair.
easy though. It feels really easy for me personally. Just click the vendor and then click away.
If they had a way to like seamlessly swap between keyboard and mouse and like controller, could you ever imagine like having
Yeah.
runs where you're playing hybrid controller, keyboard and mouse?
100%. Be sick.
100%.
Especially I think
No idea if
because like
controller's good. Sounds
one
cool,
thing
though.
I noticed with Ranger is that like it's the only class that, or maybe there's other classes, but like bow skills don't have that auto aim, right? Which like sometimes might actually feel like it's kind of bad for Ranger because like aiming with one arrow is not ideal. I'm thinking like, what if you're playing like on controller and you just have that auto aim function because that's baseline as a controller feature, not on
I will say inventory management on
Yeah,
controller
yeah.
is not it. That is the
not it.
opposite of it.
It's true.
It is so far removed from it.
Yeah. But see, like that's like the where if you had like seamless transition, you could just basically just grab your mouse and you're doing your inventory stuff, and you just go back to gaming on the D-pad.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It'd be sick.
It'd be cool for like end game like race tournaments, right? Like where you start with like gear and stuff or something, and then like a controller run would be pretty good there, right? If you don't have to do any inventory event, like looting or stuff. Or
Yeah.
something.
True.
If you're just
That'd be
if you're
cool.
geared up. If you like spawned in Act 3 or something.
Yeah, that's true. Is there like
Or even in
races like from Path of Exile 1 where like there hasn't been races like that since forever now, like where you basically start off with
Yeah.
like a gear set or something like
They
that?
stopped doing that.
Yeah.
They thought it was like, what was it? It was like some weird reason, like they don't want to give players free progression or something weird. I don't even know. It was like a very weird reason.
I
But-
believe the reasoning was that a new player would start off, they would say like, oh, Descent Champions is running, and they'd start a character, and then in an hour or two, their character would be deleted, and they didn't like that, so they would stop playing. And the amount of like retention that they would gain from a race wasn't worth the amount of people that would like first time log in, make a character, and then like stop playing because their character was gone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they're a business. At the end of the day, they have to do what's the most financially sensible for them.
No, for sure, yeah.
I still would love some races, especially like some drop me in the middle of
Royale?
endless
Royale?
ledge or something.
Royale? Any Royale enjoy?
Okay. Royale,
enjoyers?
Royale was sick until we got too good at it, and then people
It's
stopped
true.
playing.
Yeah.
true.
Royale was a bit
That's
like jumping into Royale as somebody who was like not good at it, and then just having you guys be like fucking just insane at the game. It was like
It was kind of funny.
it was
What
just
was
I
it
had fun.
again?
That's all I gotta say, man.
That first month of just farming
Had a great
entire
time.
lobbies
Great.
was
It's the best game out ever.
cinema.
I remember like the Twitch rivals. I'm jumping in for the first time, and then you got these guys like just turbo farming everyone. Like holy shit,
Oh.
you guys are serious.
What was the gem that if you didn't get to, you're fucked pretty much? It was like
Molten Strike. That was Molten Strike.
Oh yeah, it was
Molten
yeah.
Strike,
There was an era of Blight.
Melee was OP.
There was an era of Molten Strike. There was an era of Cyclone. There was an era of I think it was Explosive Arrow. I don't remember.
Yeah, Explosive Arrow was one of them too.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like
Explosive Arrow.
viable skills that you could use, and then it
Yeah.
kind of like.
Oh, lighting was like not bad as well. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff actually.
And then it slowly became like, oh, if you're not playing this, blow up. Obviously, you could farm a bunch of noobs in a lobby if you had like Bladeful, which is fun. But yeah. Anyways, any other questions?
Well, I mean, I'm mostly just thinking like, what would be like the ideal like fun race format? Like
I mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just like, because like there's like a very serious side to racing, but I feel like there's also a side to racing where like more than just racers can get involved and race like based off of just some kind of goofy concept that's like class specific or whatever. And I think that would like just be more beneficial for the greater appeal of the game, right? But obviously there's like the sports side of it, which is what you guys do, and then there's like just the other side of it, which would be like endless.
Well, the custom events are like pretty fun though, right? Just like like the alternate starts, like when people set up like characters and stuff, like that could be goofy, I suppose. But also like it could be competitive or it could be goofy. Like, it just depends on what you want at the time. For accessible, but like also I guess competitive, like Act 1 is probably the best. Is like, it's kind of like the Act 5 Katava, right? It's like an hour, and like it is kind of a problem with RNG, like Tata was saying, but you could kind of balance that by just, okay, best of 3 or something, or you have to do 3 races and you have to play a different class each time or something. Like I don't know, just change it up somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like a best of 3 type of thing on a 1 hour race is fine. Also, like I don't know,
cool.
like it was the same in PO1 too. You don't get your chest orb, GG. What can you do?
Yeah,
Happens.
we've seen that before. Happens.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are playing an ARPG, so sometimes you will just lose to RNG. I think that's just how it goes. It's not a. The thing is that like when it was like peak Exile and peak Tie, like those guys were not going to lose to me unless like some extraneous, unless they're like hand broke in the middle of speedrun. Like they were gonna beat me like 99 out of 100 times, just because like I wasn't taking it as seriously.
Yo, imagine one of their games crashed though. That'd be crazy though, right?
Yo, if their game like
if that happened,
dude, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. Okay.
It would just say that they intentionally closed it.
That makes sense.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is that it's kind of a weird thing because you have the people that will say like, "Oh, dude, it'd be so cool to watch like Havoc and Tai speedrun," and then they come up with the most cock and ball torture thing imaginable. Like, dude, what if they played HCSSF, but it was half XP and their character moved half as fast? Like, people will cook up just the most overcooked thing like I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, what if they speedran, but it was Gauntlet and it was PoE2 and the bosses had 8 times the HP? Like, nobody's gonna want to play that, but there's gonna be some Twitch chatter that says that'd be sick. In my opinion, the best format of racing is the thing that's the most applicable. The reason why racing is popular and the reason why people even watch me in the first place
because it's relatable.
Because they want to get better, right? They want to get a faster Act 5 time. They want to get a faster Act 10 time. That's like the only reason I have any relevancy is because people watch what I do, either copy it or listen to it. It's not because like, even though I am a handsome and entertaining individual, at the end of the day, people watch my stream or my content because they want to have their experience just be better, right?
Yeah. I feel that. I feel like you can really see that in games like Elden Ring and stuff as well. Like there's these glitch runs, and that's like a thing like for the speedrunners themselves to sort of like, I don't know, that's like more of a thing for them. But then you have like the glitchless runs, like any percent, all bosses, all that kind of stuff, and that's like really what pops off because people have played through the game. They know like just how crazy what they're watching is. in comparison to just seeing some dude flip through the floor or do some like obscene shit. Like I do think that like there's merit to like gauntlet runs and stuff like that, because also the
for sure.
public has access to them, so they can experience what it's like too, and then be like, wow, that's crazy, and then watch Ben like just do everything with one hand tied behind his back, right? And that's like really like insane. But I do think like having a format that everybody can kind of like relate to is really important, because it's just, you've been through it, and then you also want to improve, and you can learn from the best, and you definitely hit the nail on the head on that with that one, Tai. Do you think the more abstract it is, the more detached it becomes for people, and less interesting it is from a viewer perspective?
Yeah, there will always be people that'll just kind of watch like any pure racing format, but I think that like you kind of want to go for the greatest like visibility, the greatest interest, and I think the greatest interest is always going to be the self-serving interest, which I don't think is like, oh, everybody is just looking up for themselves. I think it totally makes sense that people want to watch something that is applicable to them, because especially since like you said, like, oh, I know how difficult acts 1 through 3 are. It took me, it took some people like 24 hours like to get through Act 6 on their first character. So watching somebody do it in like 9 hours is probably sick.
Sure, man. I think relatability is huge there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys expect there to be like kind of like community race things? Because like the community was kind of like spearheading racing in Path of Exile 1 as well. Like Camel with his races and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you think we'll see like a resurgence in this kind of stuff, or like as of right now, like how do you guys feel like the racing community is? Do you have like insider discords, or is there anything like that? Like, can you give us a little insight on that?
We have like a group chat that like I don't know wall pretty much 24/7, and the only times I comment on it are just to say like the speedruns that we do should include like the passive points and like the labs and stuff.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty much the only time. Yeah, I think League Start % is the best format for racing because, like I said, it's a very like popular category, and I think that it's the better category than like keeping on. Like, the issue is that if we do like no skill points, no labs, no like we're gonna do some pretty degen things. Not only is it very difficult, it's not something that I want people to replicate. I want people to watch my speedrun and then go, okay, that's what I'm gonna do on League Start. I don't want people to watch something where I'm just like skipping Dweller, skipping Fairgraves, skipping the Golden Hand, and like, it's just some giga speedrun time. I want people to watch something and be like, oh, that's how you do that quest efficiently.
Yeah.
No, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason I never got into all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was never useful. It's like on League Start, what's it gonna do for me on League Start? Nothing.
You're not gonna skip. You're not gonna skip six passive points when you're leveling to on day 1, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it was not useful for League Start, was not useful for Gauntlet. So I was like, okay. So you had to basically pick a focus, and the focus is was Gauntlet. So League Start scenario type of shit.
Okay, you wanna know what's really accessible? I remember like back in the day when I played D3, and like people would always compare their like Asmodan DPS or something, and they were kind of doing that this League Start with the Arbiter, right? I mean, like that could be like a thing, if people wanted to. Just an idea for something super accessible that like a lot of people can participate in, because like a speed run, you kind of have to like prepare and like set up, get your timer ready, and like do all this practice. But like if you're just playing the game, theorycrafting, making a strong build, it's like, oh yeah, I can just record my kill real quick. It's like a couple minutes, and like optimize it, do better. So
as far as like
way for people to compete, but also be accessible, basically, right?
I see. I mean, we'll have POB soon, right? So we'll just POB and whatever has the highest number.
It's true.
I think there's something really cool about seeing like the kills themselves, though, in comparison to POB, because POB is like all conditionals and stuff, and a lot of the time it's kind of like, do you really hit that?
So POB, I don't like. Okay, like there's a lot of problems with POB too. Is like people take it too much as face value. Like, oh, if POB says X, then it is X. But there's a lot of things that POB don't tell you. It doesn't tell you how a skill functions mechanically. It doesn't tell you how it actually plays in the real game. It doesn't tell you a lot of things. And I feel like I've seen someone. I was in Yugi's chat earlier, and there was a guy complaining about how he's like, oh, I need POB now because he did not understand why putting on an item did not give him as much mana as he thought it would. But that was just at the end of the day, it's just like random basic math. You just if you understand the game a little bit, like you don't need that. And it doesn't to make builds, for example, like for PUB 2, like, it came out. We don't have PUB. You don't need PUB to make builds or know what's gonna work. You just do what makes sense, and it will always work out in the end. Just I feel like PUB is more just for small min-maxing things. You don't know what is the best tech for, like, I don't know, 2% difference type of things. I think it's the only time where PUB is useful.
Yeah, I mean those 2% add up though.
Yeah, I was
That's, like,
gonna
the
say,
one
I
thing
think
about
you get enough 2% that like eventually you just end up with a completely different build in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, you build is still gonna work, right? It's just it's
sure.
gonna be like you don't need PUB to tell you, okay, this is viable, this is not viable.
Oh yeah, definitely. Doesn't make or break. It kind of is just like it's like the catalyst for min max, right? That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a good idea to begin with, for sure.
Yeah, we should have a PUB 2 speedrun.
Yeah.
What is a
I don't know.
PUB2 speedrun?
Like, all right, make a build with these numbers, go. Just like, I don't know.
With the highest DPS.
Just click every damage node of the tree.
Then you'd
but
have to
you have to
like,
have
a
some
criteria.
defense or something. I don't know.
How much time is spent on your skill gems versus making your weapon?
Oh,
sure, dude. Why not?
half an hour ago.
Yeah, I guess.
And you got to play it in game after.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's the real speedrun, actually.
That owns.
There's a race format.
I mean, that's kind of what
There it
people are
is.
doing with PoE Ninja. That's in itself
True.
like kind of
actually they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you put a leaderboard, people will race, right? That's I think like GG is missing out big time on like leaderboard content. Like the amount of content that you could have just by putting a leaderboard, even for something like fastest person to kill Arbiter, like who has the fastest Arbiter kill, and then you just like his name is up there. Elon Musk, true.
The issue with leaderboards is, remember what happened with Lab? Like with Uber Lab?
Yeah,
you just got like some
yeah.
guy cheating for like several years.
Yeah,
and like even if there's no financial reward, like, oh, there's no gem related to it, like there's still going to be somebody that's like just bug abusing something on Arbiter and not streaming it.
Well, I mean, then like have a little bit of moderation, right? Like ban the guy if he's really cheating.
Was that confirmed?
Like, it wasn't
Was that guy,
confirmed.
like, actually cheating?
I mean, the guy was actually just like a god gamer that ram drived. That's the sad part. It's like, imagine like you're a racer and you're just so better than everyone else, and you're just booming everyone, and it's like, nah, we're just gonna remove the leaderboard because you're too good. Right?
Oh, that is sad.
Like you're too good, but people are just like hating it.
I mean, doesn't that tie to his argument though for like racing in general? Is like we get too good. Same with Royale. Same with racing. And then like people go like, it's too hard. I don't want to compete.
Why bother?
I have this opinion on racing that unironically racers are the ones that killed racing. It's not the community. It's not GDD. It's nobody else.
I mean,
we unironically killed racing because we would have like these big streamers playing our events. We'd have the Steel Mage, the Zizarin, the Rise QTs, and the issue is that like if you're 3 minutes behind in Act 1, it looks really bad. If somebody's in Act 2 and you're not even fighting Merville yet, people are in your chat going, why is he so slow? XDD is so bad. What? And so it leads these big content creators to not want to play because they're not going to put in the amount of hours that I'm Exile is.
Yeah.
And so what you'll end up is an event that doesn't have big streamer turnout. And then because you don't have big streamer turnout, you don't have big viewer turnout. And so these viewers like kind of just go away. And so a lot of these racing events end up getting a lot less viewership because like the big streamers will just get hard omega flamed, and it's like the benefit to playing these races just to get flamed is not worth it. So
yeah. I mean, it's insurmountable like how good like you guys are in comparison to other people, right? Like, and it's not like PoE 2 is like really a reset because I mean the fundamentals are still the same. PoE 2 and PoE 1.
I mean, it's not like the base level of skill that I possess is a lot higher than something that like a big streamer possesses. It's just the difference between like spending every single day practicing versus not spending every single day practicing is like, it's,
that's like
it's a lot.
Your skill. Yeah, I mean, don't take it for granted, man. Like practice is literally how people get good, and that's like getting good is skill. So same thing.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that like the level of effort that's put into it, while it is a skill, it's not like, oh, I'm better than everybody else.
Yeah.
It's just the amount
You're
of
not like
time that I'm
born into
investing into this.
being. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
For sure. It's like that would be like undermining it, even like, it's like, oh, he's just better because he's better. It's like, no, he's better because he works hard. Like, of course. But I mean, like, then
Havoc's just born different. That guy's just built different. Look at him, machine.
What do you think about chat suggestions? Split the streamers and pro racers into 2 races, or like have them
I think
partner up
it's
or something.
I think it's too condescending.
Yeah.
Too condescending. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
like you've got
no,
like your
there's no way.
zoo animals over here, and then you've got your actual players
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I mean,
no,
I did that back in the day, and it worked. It was like pro racers and then just like fun races or
I
something.
guess
right?
that's
Yeah.
true.
People liked it. It did work.
So, but then, how do you decide who's pro, who's not? Like, this is gonna be
At
very.
times.
Whoever wants to
It'd be-
sign up as pro, that's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
If you
Wouldn't
want
I
to
do-
be pro,
I
just
do
be like, yeah, I'm
remember
pro, then you play.
there
That's it.
were a lot of people that were just like kind of casual, like dad gamers that were just like, yeah, I've never really speedrun before, but I'll sign up because why not? I'm not competing against Tight Killer. I'm competing against the other dad gamers.
Yeah.
oh, but how
It
do
was a
you
little bit
prevent?
different.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
you
how
go
do you
ahead.
prevent the opposite? How do you prevent the opposite?
What do you mean? Like, how do you prevent
Like,
a pro gamer from signing up as like a casual gamer?
Yeah,
I mean,
because that would
There-
ruin the
if you're-
experience that would ruin the
Yeah.
experience for everybody else.
I mean,
So-
obviously you've got different brackets. So like, if somebody's like doing like a 1 hour 6 minute act 5, like they're probably not going to be in the other category for very long, if at all. Right. But like, if a guy's got like an average of like an hour 50 act 5, then yeah, they'll be fine over there.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
speedrun is like just content back at the end of the day, right? It's like just for entertainment. And the way I
Yeah.
did it was like it was just invite only. I think it was like only 4 people playing at a time, right? So it was like
Yeah.
pretty easy to figure out like, okay, are you a pro
Okay.
gamer or are you playing for fun, right?
Yeah.
And like the people that are a bit more casual, then we just make it really fun. All right, you start with tabula, goldrum, everything, right? And just like have fun, then use these skills that no one ever plays. Just it looks cool, so
I think
I
that,
think
that
there's
would be
ways
the
to do it.
normalizer. Like if you have like a
Yeah.
format that you guys are not used to running, that's when you can invite like, people like me, like the zoo.
Damn, dude.
All right. Tuna gets a start in Act 1 of PoE1, and all the pro racers have to play PoE2 campaign.
The hand stand behind your
Oh,
back as
oh
well,
boy.
please.
Whoa.
That would be cool. That would be cool, actually.
Whoa.
That'd be
That-
cool. Yeah. 'Cause how long is a PoE1 campaign right now? Fresh start?
Like 8
League
to
start
9
or
hours.
any percent?
Yeah, they next start.
It's probably longer.
Is it? You say PV1 or PV2?
PoE2, because I don't know what PoE2 length is.
Let's just say 8 hours. Yeah, what type I said? 8 hours. Sure.
Yeah.
Probably 8 to 9.
Yeah,
It kind of
wait,
depends, like how good you get. Because in my opinion, there is going to be like a baseline.
They're gonna get down to 6 eventually.
Yeah,
that's what I was
I think
thinking.
I think we're so bad skill wise that like the thought of getting to 6 is like a little too extreme at the moment. I think that as we get better, as we study more, we learn a lot more like the little tricks. We don't know like the grain ways or the gateways or whatever that layout's called. Like, oh, look for the body. Like we don't know
yeah,
those
yeah.
yet.
All the little
Okay.
traps.
We don't know the builds. The super giga min max.
I mean, I do think that PoE2 is less. You can do less stuff, with your skill that you can in PoE1 because there's no movement. There's less movement.
Yeah.
Less movement automatically will always mean less skill cap, like lower, less skill involved.
A lot of stuff with dodge roll though. You can like go through.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still very limited. There's things you just can't avoid with dodge roll. Like for example, Lactan's slam, you can dodge it. You can evade it with dodge roll.
Yeah, but that's bossing though. It's different. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about like in a zone, like going around a corner when there's like mobs blocking you. You can't walk through that, but you can dodge roll like, through some things. So
Like I do think there's gonna be less room for just be better, right? In PoE2 than in PoE1,
Mhm.
where you have like you have leap, slam, lead, shield, shadow, frost blink, all that stuff that gives you options to go faster and like cut corners and get away from situations.
if that's true, like let's say the skill ceiling is like lower in PoE2, you think that like makes it more accessible or like appealing for like people to like get started?
I think
plug
the
in.
problem is that you make for people to get started. I mean, the thing is like I'm not saying it's easier. I'm actually saying that it's harder.
I think it's harder. too.
To answer
I think-
Havoc's question, I think the skill ceiling being lower doesn't make it like more approachable. I think it's always going to be related to the skill floor. It's going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
floor is higher. I actually think the floor is. Well, actually, something is
Yeah.
You
higher.
think so?
It's just
I
more
don't think
difficult.
so.
No, I think it's more difficult because like a lot
Yeah,
of,
so
like
the
I said,
pro is lower. If it's more difficult, then that means that like the person who is the worst at the game is gonna be substantially worse.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the floor is lower.
I also think that we're talking from a PoE1 perspective. I think it's like what the dev said, right? Like anybody that just plays PoE for the first time and they're playing PoE2,
Okay.
they could probably go through the game and like play through HCSSF because they just don't know, you know. They don't know like how easy we got it over in PoE1.
Yeah, I suppose.
like,
But
for
like
then-
PoE1 is like
then it's
hard
a
for
little
somebody who's new as well, Tai. Like
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
it's just because you have
But
like the amount of time and experience.
Yeah, but I think they said like PoE1 for a brand new player was actually harder in some cases because it
Makes
was like
sense.
there's just a lot more going on.
It's more complicated, yeah. Because they're just like you just get thrown a lot of gear and all this
Mhm.
kind of stuff. You have a lot of stimulants, like,
Yeah.
things to look at. So it's just more overwhelming in that regard, I think. That PoE2 brought
yeah.
it back a little bit in terms of simplicity.
As far as skill floor and skill ceiling are concerned, I'm not quite certain. I do kind of feel like the skill ceiling is lower though. I feel like
Yeah.
there's not much that I'm doing in the runs, like run to run, that's like, oh my god, I can improve this so much better. There's a lot of like, I didn't get the weapon this run, so I guess we'll go
Mm.
do another Act 1
GG
run.
next.
Like I'll give an
Yeah.
example actually. I think an example that's decent is say you're speedrunning, Act in PoE1, you go through Belly of the Beast. So zone's very dangerous. Usually you don't have any armor, you don't have any physical damage
Yeah.
reduction, you get destroyed by monsters there. If you one bad step, you die, right?
Mhm.
But you can do something about it. You can just have good movement, use frostbang at the right time, etc., like a sidestep stuff. If you go, for example, through Dreadnought in PoE2, you either you can't do is either strong enough or you're just dead. You have the appropriate defense to go to the zone, or you're just dead.
Yeah.
I think that's where the difference is for in my eyes at least.
I kind of have to ask right now, since you brought up Dreadnought. Like, I feel like everyone's hating on that zone. I feel like the zone's like really sick. Like, it gets so much XP,
Dude.
and like, I kind of want to bring up the words. Okay, you can do like a defense check thing to like, survive it, but I don't know. There's definitely a playstyle aspect too. You know, to like start blasting. Like, I don't want to bring up the word skill issue here, Karn. I'm not gonna lie. Just I think
no,
really sick.
I did it once. Okay, like I haven't tried.
Okay, that's
speedrunning.
fair. That's fair.
I did it
So
once. That's all. But like
have
when I saw it,
played, yeah. Sorry, go ahead and finish.
like when I saw it, like it just reminded me because that is the best example I can think of for someone who has done the campaign only once. That's that because on a warrior at least, on a warrior when you're Gigasu, you have no range option. You have to walk to this thing.
Yep.
If you don't have block, you cannot. You just get destroyed.
I did have the same feeling you
because
had after the first time I did. I was like, man, this zone is tough. This is a tough zone. But now I'm like, yo, this zone is sick. I love this zone.
No, I mean, I'm sure. Like, if I were to do it again, like a second time, I'm sure I would be completely fine with what I know now. But it's still, there is still less for you to do, gameplay wise, in that zone, that you can do in a similar zone in PO1. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Because the difference between playing these like ranger runs and then I did like an ice monk run. Because here's the thing is I originally started playing PvE2 as a lightning monk and it was straight ass. And then I stopped playing like endgame and I went, you know what, let's go do some speed runs, do some Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Still haven't finished an Act 3 run because I keep falling asleep. And I eventually went, you know what? I want to make an ice monk, but I want to start it the same way that I did. Because what if it's just a skill issue? What if my lightning monk was actually sick and it's just like, oh, Act 1 as a lightning monk, you just have to play super well. You just need a good weapon. I was like, dude, I've done like 15 runs. I know what I'm doing now. I understand it now. Yeah, no, it was still ass. It was like an hour 40 instead of like 50 minutes. And yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was literally like almost double the time. It was
But we're talking
terrible.
Act 1? Is that
Yeah,
your
I'm literally
issue?
talking Act 1.
Act
Yeah,
1 is
Act
very
1 was
difficult on monk.
horrible as
It's
lightning monk.
like, yeah.
The best way to go through like as a monk is literally to level his bows. Like that's how it goes in Act 1.
Yeah, Act 1 is
And
horrible.
then Ice Monk was night and day different from playing Lightning Monk. It was so much better. It wasn't even comparable.
Full damage
And
is
so
so
I
strong.
think currently there's just a lot of like balancing things like that. And so I think as we play more, we'll figure out more things that are kind of like that, but for like other classes and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But comparing the classes to each other is a little out of the picture at the moment.
Yeah, especially since we have like 24 more ascendancies incoming, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, we don't even have we don't.
24.
I
We're
keep
not there.
thinking. Yeah, I keep thinking like, man, we really don't have much, do we?
We
Like,
have nothing.
Is this it? Is this the game? And then I look through the skills tab and I'm like, empty, 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 empty.
Yeah.
You know, soon to be released. And I'm like, ooh.
Just think of melee, like once you get like all the weapon bases, it just opens the floodgates.
Axes, give me axes. Onslaught,
axes,
onslaught.
spears,
Onslaught on kill.
Swords.
Yeah.
spears.
Flails, bro.
There's a rig.
What the hell? Like we're getting
Yes,
flails.
Rush.
It's gonna be sick.
Flail sounds cool.
Yeah, I think like melee kind of got the short straw because of the fact that it just launched with maces, unfortunately. Like
Oh,
I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
okay.
Always
The
will.
things with misses, like it could have been good. They just, I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes they made in designing the archetype of the weapon and how they wanted it to be. Like, why does every single node on your tree have, or not every single, but
like reduced.
why do so many
actions.
nodes on your tree have reduced attack speed?
Yeah.
And why do every skill have a massive speed penalty? And sometimes they even have added attack base time. Why have all these things? Like all they do is make the character feel like shit. That's all.
Well, I
doesn't
think
really,
that's because of the whole mace thing. It has to be.
Yeah, but
slow.
okay. The thing is, like, it needs to be an upside to that. Like the idea is like, okay, you attack slow, but you hit really hard. But that's not really the case, though.
Yeah, the
Like if you
balance
attack
is
slow, you
not
need to do
there.
more damage. You need to
Sure.
actually do more damage than the alternatives that actually have smooth, fast attack speed and have less damage. Well, at least that's what they should be. But it's not
But
the
you're
case.
comparing
Here.
it to like, you're comparing it to staves, right?
And it's like, well, staves, anything else. So for example,
Waves, caster,
yeah, like literally anything else.
minions.
If your character is slow, it
Yeah.
needs to be stronger in another way, and the other way is doing more damage or having more coverage, I guess. So
Is
things
this
like
stun at least? Like
No, that's the thing. It doesn't even stun better than other damage.
Yeah.
Like it does stun well in campaign and in lower tier content, but when you do tier 4 bosses, it does not stun. I had to go through so many hoops to try to make stun work, and it barely does. And you will get like one stun off, and then you forget about it because then bosses have too many abilities, and you can't really
Yeah.
you don't have enough uptime to keep this because the stun bar goes down. That is a problem too. Like whenever there's any downtime, which there will be if you play a melee character, then your stun build up goes down and it's over. Then you cannot stun anymore because you will never catch up basically. And it's like imagine if, for example, a node on the tree gave you like I think a notable gives you what 10% more increased attack speed. Now imagine it gives you 15% attack speed, but you have like 10% reduced damage. Would you take it?
Yes.
No.
maybe.
I mean,
Yeah,
in the
I think
current
the
state of
answer-
the game,
I
I would take
I think the
that.
answer is always yes.
Yeah.
I think the answer is
Yeah.
always yes. But it's not the case with damage because if you just lose some damage, that's fine. Just do a bit less damage. That's okay. Your character does not feel worse. Sorry. Yeah, if you
Attack
lose a
speed,
bit of
yeah,
damage,
yeah.
that's fine. If you lose attack speed, your character feels a lot
Your
worse to
character
play, and
feels
that feels
worse,
really
yeah.
bad.
I think I heard it the other way around. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, sorry, I mixed them up. But yeah, I meant to say like if you lose attack speed,
Yeah.
it's bad. But if you lose a bit of damage, you don't mind. It's just okay. Your character is slightly less powerful, but it's gonna have like it's not even necessarily gonna be less powerful because you trade damage for speed, which technically in a lot of cases is the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
that your character will feel better. In some cases, you care more about attack speed, or the damage you can make it up somewhere else. Attack speed you cannot really make it up somewhere else.
I mean, it's been talked about a bunch, like armor versus other defensive layers. But the way that my brain exploded on day 3 when I was trying to figure out how to make my lightning monk tankier, and I just kept looking at the tree, and I was like, not really seeing any life nodes. Oh, but here's an ES node and another ES
60%.
node and another ES node and another ES node and another ES node, and almost every single one of these has evasion with it as well. So like I could take like an evasion wheel, and I started clicking all those, and I was like, huh. I stopped
You got some
dying.
Grim
all of a sudden.
Feast, and,
Yeah.
Grim,
GG
how did Grim Feast make it into the game? I do not understand.
It
When you guys
was-
say
it's
Grim Feast is
so good.
OP, I just almost mapped like an entire day with like Ghost Dance instead, and it didn't feel the difference. Like Grim Feast is OP,
Yeah.
but it's totally not even necessary. So even if they remove that, it doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't.
I've not used Grim Feast. I've just been like using like Ghost Shroud's Wind Dancer, and like I get hit once, recover like 1,000 ES. It's pretty chill.
Good, yeah. And then you just get
Like,
like What's the keys? I forget. Eternal Youth. Yeah, Eternal Youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're just like chilling.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
yes,
thinking like
fun.
if we had something like Green Feast before life, and suddenly I'll be like, oh my god, okay, like I'll no problem. Then suddenly life bills don't feel so shit anymore.
Isn't that Blood Mage or
bro.
something? Yeah.
Yeah,
Reroll, bro.
but it's an ascendancy and it comes at a cost. It's not just you just spend 30 spirit and GG, you're immortal.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Bro, I league started that shit. Oh, I can't believe.
Yep.
So sad.
Like you lose life, right? You lose like to have a overflow. How much you lose like 20% life, something like that. Something stupid. 15.
Well, no, you don't lose life for it, but you just your skill costs become your mana cost becomes equals your life cost, right?
No, but that's not what I meant. I was talking about the overflow from Green Feast, not the actual orbs.
Oh, you don't lose anything.
That is the OP part about it. It's like okay, you get like yes on kill pretty much, which you can get somewhere else, but you cannot get overflow. Like you get overflow for free. That's double US. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's literally free. Like it's
it is
so,
yeah.
Like 30 spirit as well, bro. It's like
Like I think for some time I was mapping with Green Fist on my warrior because I had 200 ES and it was worth it.
Yeah,
because you have 4k life and you have 200 ES.
That's
10%. I'll take it, dude. That's literally 10% more life. I took it.
Crazy.
That's crazy, but it is worth it. That is a crazy. That's insane. Like Green Fist making it into the game is crazy to me.
Wild.
It's like imagine if, like I said, if I had this on the live characters, it would be. It would be a lot, not as bad, not nearly as bad as it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the balance, the solution there would just be to like give Green Feast to everybody, though, right? Like,
no, just
it would be to like sort of balance like life on tree and armor and that sort of stuff. Like, that's where what's lacking.
I mean, the thing with the life on tree is like these are decisions that I think they want to stick with.
I think it's a
the
good
thing
decision,
I don't want. I think it is fine, but you can have ES nodes on the tree.
Yeah,
while you have
it's just that like in comparison to, well, like it's kind of weird though because if you don't have like ES nodes on the tree, then ES is like just doesn't exist, right?
You gotta have some sort of balance. There's gotta be some like here's a few life nodes, here's a few ES nodes.
No, but why though? Don't forget. Because you can get ES.
The amount of fly that you get is like unfortunately not comparable because you don't have a base.
Until you get like crazy numbers of like good items, like switching over to ES is not feasible at all.
But wasn't that the case before though in PoE that you would play life until you can swap with good gear to an ES base character? Because I'm pretty sure that's how it's always been.
I mean that is that's kind of how it has been. Like, oh, you're life based, but if you want to go CI, you do like a hybrid build for like a little while. But like, it's always been a little different because you would slowly spec over from life to like life in ES nodes on like the top right of the tree, and then you'd slowly switch over to like a bunch of ES nodes, while still keeping like life in ES, you know. But like it's, I don't think it's super comparable because there are actually life nodes in PoE1.
Yeah,
that you would, you know. So I don't know.
I don't think it's quite as easy to swap to ES as in like currently. If you're just like a pure Stormweaver, because Stormweaver just doesn't have any other defenses aside for ES. I think the real problem here is the fact that like a monk can just go hybrid super easy and all of its nodes just basically double dip evasion, energy shield. And so you can get like high evasion and energy shield.
And also evasion's just the most insane defensive layer in any video game.
That's really the problem there. But if you're just like looking like just Stormweaver and you just like nerf the shit out of ES, Stormweaver is gonna feel awful. Like it already kind of does because it doesn't really have evasion. Like
can't you go mana though?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, but like we don't.
Mom is better actually.
To Mom, right?
Mom's actually better than.
Mom is actually like kind of like horrible because of freeze and stuns, and you have very hard. Like that's a big problem that you have to like actually solve. Like it's not just like Mom easy. You do have to like actually like. There's no way to solve stun. Like there's no way to solve stun if you're a Mom build. If
I was like campaign solution. I haven't played an in-game, so that makes sense.
The solution is to like, at least for me, I was like a pure Mom build at the start, and it was just like, you have to anoint the double charm, and you have to take freeze and stun charm. Otherwise, you're just like, you're not having fun.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So it's like I'm just sort of saying like it's not completely free. It's like there's still some some downsides to it, and if you were to just like nerf the shit out of it, Stormweaver would probably have like not so good of a time. Monk would just be completely fine though. Monk's just like really nice, and Deadeye as well because they can just like grab all the monk nodes.
No.
Yeah, I
Stormweaver
think
can't,
armor's
right?
just
Because
really
its nodes
lacking.
are just in a different place.
Sorry, what'd you say? Come again?
Stormweaver can't grab the monk nodes, even though it's nearby.
You can, but you're very stretched because like if you have to go for like all the mana regen nodes and you want to go for like clicking mom is
Yeah,
is
that makes
like
sense.
is a massive down. It is 50% less recovery, so
Yeah.
like that's a hefty downside to offset. It's either like you go for like 2 really good regen like rings at the very least, like you need like 2 D1 like regen nodes and like 4k mana for mom to feel good. Otherwise, you just end up like ooming yourself and it feels awful.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy Melting Maelstrom and then you just become Thanos. But, you know, that's another argument.
You were bringing up armor there. Scavenge plating, probably. That thing's so bad, man.
It's
I tried
yeah,
it.
right.
Dude,
Like,
I was like, yo, what if? No, this thing sucks. Like,
I mean, okay. For me, like I use it a bit. Like wall mapping, you know, you have it. It's fine. You have all the stacks all the time on warrior at least. But the problem is like, yeah, armor does nothing. It's like it's pretty funny because my character at some point I went all the way up to like 15k armor without plating and like around 20k width. And ever since my armor kept going down, and my character was getting stronger. So like now I have 2k armor. My character is the strongest he's ever been.
Nice.
And that's that's kind of.
so what's your defensive layer now that you're like forgoing armor?
I mean, it's
strength
block,
stacking.
block, and that's it.
Just
I
block,
mean,
yeah.
life and block.
Freeze the
yeah,
monster,
you-
kill the
you need
monster.
strength, yeah, but I mean, I don't have that much. Like, you get strength. It's really difficult to get enough strength and res and everything.
Mm.
So, also, I guess I'm
Kill-
using a non-slot helmet, so it doesn't help. But yeah,
Kill
like in
monster
general
before it
defense,
kills you.
yeah, I mean, there's that. But literally, the defenses on warrior right now, it's you have block and you have life, and that's it. That's why it's pretty. I mean, I'm at the point where it's fine. Like I'm pretty overgeared, but you know, like while progressing, it was awful. Like as soon as you hit maps on the warrior, this is where I was like, oh my god, I wish I had the vision. Like when you hit
Yeah.
maps, you're like, oh my god, I
Vision
wish I
is
had
so
the vision.
strong.
Yeah. But like because to get block, you need 600 strength, whatever. Like it depends depending on how you spec your tree. You need a bunch of strength that you cannot have because getting items in PoE2 is pretty difficult in SSF. So there's a whole problem around Giant's Blood there, but I think I don't think it's what we want to talk about anyway. So
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about anything. We don't have to have like a specific argument.
all right. Do you guys feel it's like item progression is balanced in the campaign? Because like I think if we ask about endgame, we're probably going to say no. So the campaign, at least.
campaign. I haven't played it
I
enough,
don't
but like
think
from what I've seen, from the changes that they made, didn't get a lot better since day one.
I
You
mean,
know,
yeah,
like
you
in
double
the-
currency.
Yeah, like well, that's what I heard from
It
people.
does.
Said
It does feel a lot better.
Is it not enough?
Repeat
don't
the
think so.
question, because I did this
Well-
like insane like thought process, and then I lost. I got lost in the sauce, and I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah,
You know what
I guess let's just. Well, if we haven't done the runs, it's so hard to like answer it then, right?
Yeah.
Like on my first run in the campaign, like I kind of felt good just seeing the whole transmute bases and like, okay, if this is like an Algae, then like if this one's really good, I'll regal it, right? Like I felt
Yeah.
pretty good in the campaign, even on my first run. I was just kind of curious if you guys felt the same way, or you felt like, man, I'm not getting gear during the campaign like at all.
My first run, I dropped 2 exalts in Act 1. And I went, oh, dude, they want us to use our currency while leveling. This is sick.
Yeah,
And then I didn't find an exaltador for the next 7 hours straight.
that was a bug.
And I
I'm
was
pretty
like-
sure.
I was
That was
like,
fun.
dude, I don't have any weapon. I don't have a weapon. I'm using my Act 2 weapon. I'm in Act 4 right now. Yeah, it was pretty bad on launch. I think it's a lot better. I don't think it's like consistent at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think that's intentional. I think their idea is like, oh, I'm going a little bit longer than I would like without having a weapon. And then boom, big dopamine hit. You check the vendor. It's got some crazy weapon that's already like rare. And then you add a socket or two and you're pumping. I think that's kind of the idea that they're going for. The vendors are very relevant. It feels very Diablo 2 reminiscent where I'm leveling up and I'm like, let's check the vendors, let's see what I got. Even when I was doing my second run into maps, because I did like an SSF like a reroll a few days in, or like a week or two in, like after the big patch, I was checking the vendors like in my hideout literally every level up because they're so valuable.
Yeah, first time I leveled, I had a lot of problems actually. Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
did like
it's
the
rough.
part where you just pick up items, transmute AUG, whatever, but we were
Yeah.
just not getting enough currency to click on items. But I think that part of the progression while leveling is really, really good, and it's way better than PoE 1. I think I like that
Yeah.
a lot more. Just
Really?
pick up
It's a lot
items,
simpler.
click stuff. Yeah,
It's a lot simpler.
I really
like-
like clicking my orbs on my items instead of just keeping them because in PoE 1 you drop a chaos orb, you're not gonna click it on a weapon. You're not doing that. Or maybe actually you might, but
I mean,
you
it's the
wait
same
till you
thing
get a
right now in
second
PoE
weapon, then
too.
you gamble one of them.
Like
yeah.
if you were to use your exalted orb on an item while leveling right now, you're crazy because for one exalt you can get like a fucking +4 staff with spell damage.
Oh,
and
in trade,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
100%.
In
That's
trade,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it's the
in
same.
trade,
It's the same in PoE 1. Like if you drop an exalted orb while like you're leveling, it's like yeah, I mean you could like slam your item, like but like if not slamming it, the opportunity cost is just the same in PoE 2.
No, but it's just
Right.
that it's a lot less common. It's a lot more valuable. Like they made exalts drop a lot more now in PoE2, so you actually want to click them.
You have like
'Cause that's
20
so
exalts in the
common.
campaign now? It's like something like that.
Yeah, I see
That's
what
how
you
much I got on
mean.
my last run.
Yeah.
It was like 15.
Would make sense.
Like I've been clicking
think-
every orb that I dropped the entire way I've played this character, and it felt good for the most part. Well, until you get to the point where getting upgrades is like impossible, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's not beneficial to compare like what the prices are now, like a month after the early access launch,
yeah.
to like what they would be on day one. I think that if we had
True.
another league, a lot of the prices would kind of reset, even though we would like know what the value of items are a lot better. You would not see a +4 staff on day one with spell damage going up for like 2 exalts. That thing would be worth way more. And so I think that we would be in a situation where a lot of people are crafting their own gear for exalts, and they're. And I think that it feels good. I will say I slowly seeing the vision. It's pretty it's pretty slow in end game, but as far as like early game's concerned, it's inconsistent but kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah.
I could see what they're going for.
You mean
It
it's
feels
inconsistent?
it's basically just like I'm playing Ruthless. That's all it is. I'm playing Ruthless, and
Oh,
sometimes
yeah, I've been
the
saying that the
yeah.
entire time. I was saying that just.
I'm
just
just playing
surprised,
Ruthless.
but I don't know.
Fun
I feel
Ruthless.
like calling it Ruthless is strange. This is definitely better than Ruthless. Like a million.
Oh
percent.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's Ruthless Light, you know what I mean? Like it's
It's
clearly
very-
inspired by the
it is
the
very
version of what's
Ruthless
like.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And then you get to end game, and all of a sudden, like it's like
Nice.
Torchlight Infinite. That was a speed.
Yeah.
The game.
My first reaction
it's
was
like,
like, sorry, you go ahead. Go ahead.
the game has like almost, it feels like an identity crisis from the campaign into endgame.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't
It's
think
night
it's
and day.
intentional though. I think it is unforeseen consequences.
A boy,
Although
like
some
That's
stuff
like
was yeah.
that's like
some stuff
implying
is,
that they're incompetent. I don't think that's the case.
No, no,
I
no,
think,
no, no, no. I think no. I think some of them probably because they probably didn't. Okay, there's a thing that I think I realized after listening to them talk a bit is there's a lot of things they just don't have time to deal with.
Yeah.
There's like priorities. There's priorities basically, and some of them they probably just didn't make the list and just made it through, even though it was obviously gonna be, not it.
I know what
I
you
think
mean.
there's a lot of that too that people forget. I forget too sometimes, but a lot of the
Yeah.
time. But that's
why
only
this-
something that I've started to think more about with some of the more recent Jonathan interviews we've had when they actually and Mark would actually talk about we gotta choose what we're doing.
For sure. Yeah. That's why it's like really interesting, or I'm really interested in seeing like this patch that they're like gonna bring out supposedly soon.
yeah.
Because that'll sort of like set the precedent for like actually where they want the game to go, right? And it would sort of like set the tone for what to expect in the
Yeah.
future.
So
True.
speaking of patch, they eventually intend on releasing like the druid and like I think the spear lady or something like that, or like the druid like
Huntress, yeah.
transformation. Yeah, the huntress. I have a crazy cook. In my opinion, rarity bad, not a controversial take, right? I don't like rarity stacking. I don't like MFing. But I think that if you nerf it as soon as they get back into the office, or like within the next week or so, it would leave a really bad taste in everybody's mouth that you've got Fubgun printing like hundreds of divines using rarity, and then you've got like your average Joe that just invested like their only 30 exalts. Like they've been playing since this day one of early access. They've got 30 exalts. They just got a bunch of rarity gear, and it gets nerfed.
All right, so here's the solution.
No.
Fubgun's currency. Okay, fine. I jumped the gun.
Let me finish. I think that when these two classes release, they should do a fresh start, like a fresh league. Like they don't have to introduce a mechanic or something, but like a fresh league start would be sick. In my opinion, with like a big balance overhaul, because they clearly
you mean a league, right? Okay.
Yeah, they clearly know that balance is not like in a perfect spot right now, and they've only touched like super like outlier cases. But I think that they're cooking something big for a big patch. But go ahead, Havoc. What's the solution to rarity?
Oh, I was just saying, if they're worried about like people abusing rarity, just take the currency tabs at the top 1,000 richest players, and then just
spread it out, just sprinkle it.
Yeah, or just trickle it down.
Just
trickle it down. It's gone. The tabs are empty. Oh damn, you guys got hacked. That sucks. Like. All right. By the way, rarity's gone, guys.
What if it's GG that's doing the hacking?
True.
It's never somebody that's poor that's like, oh my god, I lost my one exalt. Like it's never the thing. It's like, I lost all my altars. Oh, I lost my 100 divides.
Economy reset, like in a new league restart right now, I think would completely kill the momentum of the game.
No, there's no way they can do that.
Destroy it. Yeah,
they can't, dude. I don't know. I'm ready for like a third start.
Like I know you want it, right I want it, we all want it, but like it would completely kill momentum. Right. Like the amount of people that are just like entering endgame now, and if you were to
still
say
in the
like,
campaign.
Yeah, we're still doing the campaign, and you say like, "Oh, why are you playing on the idiot league? Everyone's playing on the cool kids league." Like, and they're just gonna be like dejected and quit and like not come back. Like that's yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like as much as I would like it too, I think early access not having an economy reset. Like the more I thought about it, the more I realized like I would just kind of kill the game. And like of course like PoE players would keep playing, but like all the D4 dads are just gonna get the hell out of here.
True. That is true.
But it would be cool to at least see like I don't know, like a big patch, like something.
No, it's in the works. No, guys, no patch for the next 10 days, 12 days.
Is that how long it'll take you to go from 99 to 100?
Yeah. I think it's like about between 10 to 10 days to 2 weeks. That's the range, I think.
If you die, you lose like days of progress, right?
No, if you die, you lose about 15 hours. Yeah.
Is that with the omen?
Is that with the omen?
No. We will do omen. I mean, I have an omen. I have only one, so I don't want to lose it.
God. Oh no!
Just don't die, bro.
Well, actually, I have a question. Anybody knows? Maybe I don't know if anyone knows, but if you have an omen for XP and you die at like 4% XP, what happens? Do you lose 70? Do you lose 2.5% still, or do you lose 25% of the 4%? Do you lose only one?
I think you the first option.
So you lose 2.5 no matter what.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So know if I use my my XP women at earlier or not. That's why. Okay.
I see it.
And like,
I'm really glad
farming them. Yeah, the omens. I do ritual all day, and like they don't exist.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I need someone in C3 to actually test it to know for sure.
Yeah, I'm not testing that. I mean,
I did a lot of ritual. They just like I found like 3 in like over a week. It's not good.
Yep. I just stopped clicking ritual. They were always just in the worst spots known to mankind.
Wait, 3 in a week? You found 3 in a week? Yo, that's good. That's fine. What
I mean, bro, like I'm only doing ritual. Yeah, like I'm not doing breach. I'm not slowing down. I'm doing ritual. Like,
yeah,
it's not good, bro. Like, it's not good. You're coping.
But yeah, like it's saying a big patch. I mean, yeah, personally, I don't want one until I'm done because I know what's happening to heralds if there's a patch. But
I see. Yeah.
Nah, because if Heralds are gone, it's so much worse for me.
It's so
much,
cooked, yeah.
I think it's bad for okay. If I'm trying to get rank 1, because the goal was not to get rank 1. I was just playing the game normally and doing random stuff, and eventually I'm pretty high up. I might as well finish level 100. I think it might be better for me because a monk without Herald of Ice is probably gonna have not so great clear and speed.
Yeah. You're not too far behind, actually. You're like 90 mil behind.
Yeah, I mean, I've been catching.
Okay.
Oh,
Hard in 100 races. Classic.
But I mean, it's like kind of a last minute thing because otherwise I probably lost 4 full days to doing all this stuff. Like I spent like a day and a half in Ultimatum, some stuff like writing guides, whatever. So I wasted a lot of time. I'm pretty sure I would be like at least halfway to 100, if not for all this stuff.
Well, I was saying I'm glad that Karn's doing the push because I was like thinking about doing a 100 run. Just what if I spend
way.
I was like, what if I just spend? I was like, what if I spend like a casual like week or two playing, and then like a week or two in, I look over, the dude's like nowhere close to 100, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Like the guinea pig, bro.
Yeah, he really was the little lab rat. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, there's no way you'd see it through.
I mean, like, I don't even want to get to 96. Like, that's how it feels like the experience.
Yeah, XP is messed up, dude.
It's so slow.
I think it's intentional.
Yeah, I know it is, but the thing is, like, that's actually part of what I want to do it. I want to do it and be like, yeah, you're not gonna stop me.
You did it, like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can say I did it on a warrior. On a warrior.
On a warrior.
If I'm the first on a warrior, oh my god, that would be
with your monitor off, a WASD, like, no keyboard. Everything.
But I mean, I don't know. That was not the goal for initially, so I doubt it's gonna be. I think I need to be. I think it's possible to catch the monk, but I mean, it's a monk and I'm a warrior, so we'll see.
Is he playing attribute stacker? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't really know. If it's attribute stacking, then I think there's no chance. But
attribute stacking is so dumb.
Because
then
like the problem is, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know if I want to patch on that. Because I don't know. Like a Herald device being gone would slow down monks, I think, more than warrior. So
yeah, probably.
But I'm also having fun, so I don't want to patch.
If they nerf Herald device, like,
I have a solution. I have some backup solutions.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, backup solutions to make Herald device seal work. But that would not work for monks. I got some ideas.
Wait, what do you think? What would you expect the nerf to be then? Because like you're expecting nerf.
I think the most likely nerf is a Herald device Herald's not being able to apply elements.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
No pulse Garen or whatever.
What if they lose their attack tag?
But I don't know if that. I mean, what would damage be then? Would it be just a?
Well, they just wouldn't deal enough damage to clear.
I mean. Honestly, I don't know. It would depend. I don't know what else they would change it into then. If it's not attack damage, is it like what, just flat, just like PoE1?
Yeah, like PoE1, right? That's what I expect.
And then it would be level scaling only that scales it, and that would be bad for me.
Yeah, it would suck big time.
It would be. Yeah, I don't know. I'll wait and see. But I'm ready for the ailment one. I'm ready for it. I think I'd have to test it, but I'm not gonna test it until it hits, and I know that is for sure what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, if they remove the ability for them to apply elements, it's not the end of the world. I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it would.
Could be anything.
Yeah. Because that's kind of absurd. Like sometimes you chain like entire maps just disappear.
Yeah. So. Like it's ridiculous. I'm playing attribute stacker. It's not. It's like the game is not even fun at this point. I feel like I'm playing cheat codes.
I'm having fun. I don't know about you.
Dude, I dropped Pulse Garen, Pulse Cirkin in my SSF run. Like a number of hours in, you open a breach, you pop the whole breach. Hey, I was having fun.
That was
pretty cool.
I'm having fun, dude. I don't know what they're talking about.
I do think the Pillar of the Cage God stuff is kind of crazy though.
Yeah,
compared to like your average Joe build.
The AoE is ridiculous. I just feel like the reason why I'm not having fun is because I just think to myself, like, how could I play anything else? It just doesn't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can play it on any build. It doesn't matter. Any like if you work,
Pillar of the Cage God card, like this the AoE is like ridiculous. Yeah, like I'm chaining like max range. Like it's just disgusting.
Yeah, I know. Like I think Manny told me his radius was like 5 5 meters, and mine is 3.9, even though I'm a warrior
Yeah.
like fully away. Because I'm like if you're not pillar, I'm pretty sure your warrior is like some of the high AoE probably. Because you have so much on the tree and
Yeah. My explosion radius is like 5.1 meters. Yeah, without like.
yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah. I'm not even maxing. Like I'm putting a lot of points into Dex for speed, right? So
Yeah.
crazy.
What the fuck?
Hopefully they don't go too hard on warrior anymore, though. That class deserves some love.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we were talking about what class would think would be best for speedrunning acts and stuff. And I think warrior is actually pretty good for that. Should be pretty good for that. At the very least, for Act 1, I think warrior should be one of the strongest, if not the strongest. I don't know what you guys, how much warrior you guys have done. Because I've played it only once.
0.
So I don't really. Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I did like some VOD review before launch, and like Owl Kaiser's warrior run in like March when the game actually was ruthless. Like it was like almost
true.
as fast as like every
Yeah.
single, if not the fastest playthrough. Like after everyone got buffed, it was kind of crazy. So yeah, I could totally see that being the case.
Yeah. I think Act 1 for sure because there's so many bosses and warrior just pumps bosses. Like, you just walk up to the boss, stun it, kill it. Like every boss is like that. Like the entire campaign.
I'm not crazy, right? Like the game was like so much harder when we tested it in LA, right?
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
like
actually
night and
ruthless.
day.
Like actually ruthless.
Well, my game bugged, and I had to like restart after doing the executioner. I was pissed because Jonathan came by and he was like we had like this like 20-minute back and forth on being able to teleport my character in the next zone because I had a bug and couldn't progress. Like my campaign state was completely hard locked.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're further than anybody else's at this point." And I was like, "Actually, that makes me feel worse, but all good. All good. I'll just restart. It is what it is." And then we had the bug that we couldn't progress past Act 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to like spam
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I had
Skill
that
issue.
bug too. Yeah.
Yeah, Cardinal. I mean, literally all three of us were sitting next to each other.
it was
in
actually the
LA.
three of us sitting on the side.
Unironically, I sat next to Havoc, and then Karn sat next to on the other side of Havoc.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're bros. We know how the LA experience went.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys got stuck, and then I just walked by because I had an item that you could identify. That's how you went to Act 2. If you had an item that it could be ID'd, you could progress to Act 2. If you didn't have anything unidentified, you could not progress and you would bug out. So they got stuck, and I caught up and surpassed them. It's crazy.
Because I looked over and I was like, Havoc, how are you in Act 2? And he was like, what do you mean? I just talked to the guy. And I was like, look at my guy. He won't let me go to Act 2. And he was like, I don't know, dude. You let me go.
Shit. Skill issue.
Jungdrone came by like 45 minutes later. Oh, don't you know the bug? What bug?
Bro.
We're not even in early access. Like
Jungdrone and bugs. He's like, he's in the know.
He just knows.
And then he told us, and I went to the vendor and clicked the Ideal and Deckard Cain or whatever, the hooded one. And that's what I've been calling him the whole time. I keep calling him Deckard Cain.
It's Tyrael, okay? It's Tyrael.
Dude, I keep calling him Deckard Cain. I won't stop doing that. Ideal. How do we feel about Ideal? I think it's sick, but
it's good.
There's a lot of things where if you start doing a lot of Act 1 runs, there's a lot of like, even just like the campaign runs in general, I think the biggest issue is there's a lot of friction. After you get like the spikes and stuff, and you, or I guess it's not so much the spikes as it is like, after you get the ring, right? You kill Lachlan or whatever his name is in the graveyard. You get to talk to Una, and then Una has like a 20-second animation to revive the hooded one.
Yeah.
And then if you want to ID all in the hooded one, you have to go through his entire set of dialogue. Like there's so many instances like this that I think really kill my vibe when I'm speedrunning. And there's a lot of things where like when you kill the Act 1 boss, you sit there for 45 seconds before your loot drops and you can go on the next act.
I hate that.
Like I'm literally just like going on my second monitor, like I'm doing nothing. It feels really bad. It's Omega downtime.
Same in Act 2.
Act 2, Act 2 is the exact same.
Yeah, same in Act 3 as well.
Yes, same in Act 3, but I haven't completed Act 3 outside of the two like end game like for fun runs that I've done. So I've not.
Next one for sure. surely.
Yeah, next run will be at I will not quit in the middle.
We just gotta host a race, and that's why we just force you. You know.
Yeah,
and
I think
whoever else we invite,
that's it. Just hey guys, we're racing at this time. Who wants to
we're
play?
just racing
And then
log in.
I can't
I mean,
wait
those
to
are
finish
the
this
fun
one.
races.
Then one person drops pillar and GG noobs. So.
Dude, I don't think you can. I don't know if you can go pillar right off the rip though. Can you?
I think
Maybe.
you
might.
can. It's so good
You
that like
can?
you
Is it
probably just
really
be able
that
to use
good?
it.
Dude, you
Yeah.
know what's crazy is I dropped pillar in like Act 4 or something on day 1. And I was like, it looks alright, but it's probably like an end game item.
Where do you get your damage from though? If you use that early. Well, not
Strength.
early. I mean,
It scales
I mean, you just
fist
go
on
rings and
itself.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that only your weapon damage is still bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's offset by the fact that like you just get insane amounts of damage.
You
just
get
by having it.
100% ink AoE and you get like a crazy amount of attack speed. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can
how
totally see it.
That depends how many stats you. I mean,
Yep.
early on, I don't know about this, dude.
You know, like trial the rings and like trial the gloves and stuff. You get some flat.
Yeah.
That's another thing is like the runs where I get like you know, the god items of like, oh, my quiver has
Yeah.
flat damage, my gloves have flat damage. I got a ring that gives me damage. Like it's night and day.
It's insane.
So I have a question then.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't change the drop rates of like stuff, like how would you balance like PvE racing like right now? Would you need like multiple runs or like how would you?
Yeah,
do
you
it?
would you would need multiple runs in order to like
Like how many? do you
determine
think?
like who's the better. I mean, 3 is probably best.
3?
Like I don't know. I don't think you need. I think you get some friction when you add more than that. And also, like, if you told me to do like 3 Act 6 runs right now, I'd tell you to blow up. So
It's like 3 Act 1s then or something.
yeah, something like that would be chill.
Yeah, it's like
I think-
3 hours or something.
Yeah.
I feel like for like actual serious races though, you'd have to have like some kind of seeding. Otherwise, like the RNG is like so wild between races, right?
Yeah, you have to have some like baseline layouts, like kind of like how GGG does it, of like everybody has the same layout.
Yeah, or vendor seeding. I think like
I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Well, but no, because vendor seating then means that certain classes
would
have
benefit
big-
certain classes.
yeah, but then
yeah.
you'd have to make the races like class specific.
I mean, I think
I
that
think-
gets
I think
too-
that's
I think-
bad.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think
bad
from
too.
the viewer perspective, like I don't think that's the worst thing because like you know like we're watching races, everyone's like, oh man, they're playing DD or this build again, right? You know, and the other side's like, oh yeah, but of course they're gonna play the best thing. But like
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst thing to force racers to go like, all right, you gotta know like 6 classes or something, right? Like I think that'd be really
Yeah.
cool. from
Oh,
the
actually, no,
viewer
yeah,
point of
you're right. No, you could have like
Yeah,
multiple
if it was-
classes.
If it was
Yeah.
done on every single class, that'd be cool. But I think Karn and I immediately jumped to the thought of like, oh, everybody plays monk, and that's
view.
it.
Yeah, because that's the best
Right.
vendor or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's the only one movement speed boots actually. So
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, if it was like, all right, monk run, then ranger run.
Yeah,
then
that's what I
monk
was
run,
thinking.
that
I was
would be-
thinking like
yeah.
they'd
Yeah,
have
okay.
like cycle through them, like yo, it's
Yeah.
the ranger run or whatever.
Yeah, that's good
Um,
then.
And then you could have like, if I really like ranger, then maybe I would even have like a chance to compete, I suppose, because maybe you guys are like worried about practicing everything, but I could just practice one thing, right? And that would
Yeah.
be a way for like more casual people to get in, maybe. Well,
yeah, that would be a pretty good way. That said, tryhards, I don't know who they are, but they would practice everything as well. So
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the people that would, for like class races, would like practice like Scion and stuff like that
Yeah.
because they don't want to play the try hard classes.
Yeah, I mean, like in Path of Exile 1, like the only time I ever got good is because there was a build that I like really enjoyed playing, and then I just played
Yeah.
that over and over and over and over again. I was just playing Toxic Rain, like Pathfinder over and over and over again, and then I actually ended up getting like my best times ever, you know, like, and
Yeah.
it was actually comparable to, well, not comparable to you guys, but it was like, you know, I was
not
like
that far
doing like
off. Yeah.
sub 2
Yeah.
Kitavas and stuff. It was like, yo, I'm actually not dog shit, like, you know.
Yo. Yeah, I remember that. No, I think when you saw that era of like Descent champions and stuff like that, you would see the people that would only do the headhunter races, or they would only do the
Yeah.
endless races. 'Cause that's
Yeah, those are fun
that's
races.
their favorite format. Yeah, they. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, they were some fun races, but you would see people that wouldn't do every single one, but they would do the ones that they liked, and I think it would be
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Man,
what do you guys think about like you know like the Gauntlet, there's always this discussion of like overall ranking versus like class rankings,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
or early game speedrunning or whatever, some type of event. Like what do you think's better? Or what would you prefer? if you're playing?
I think a mix is probably the best. I think like oh, that guy's the rank 1 overall, but he's also the rank 1 of his class. Like, oh, but there's also like all the other people that are playing their class. You know, I think the way the gauntlet is set up is really, really smart.
Yeah, I like the gauntlet too. Like the way that the rankings are.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible. Like people can compete for classes that are not contested by top players because top players want to win, not just win a class. So
Makes sense.
Is there like any sort of initiative that you guys know of right now to like reboot racing from like some of the old boys that were like playing? Or is it
From
so
the
far, like,
community
nothing?
or
Yeah,
from
from a community
GGG?
perspective.
So the issue with doing community races is back in PU1, the reason why Camel did the camel races is because he said, you know what, GG's not doing races, I'm gonna start doing my own races, and it worked, and it was cool, and it was a cool community thing. And Camel talked with some of the GG devs, and they were like, dude, we love what you do because now we don't have to do it.
I
And it was
see.
the biggest slap in the face like ever to hear like, oh well, you've got the racing thing covered. Like, no, this is to show that like we have an interest in racing. And obviously they did the Exlicon thing like a while later, and you know they supported racing, but it's kind of been like we've asked for features, and there's a lot of like, hey, we'd love to add like a spectator mode, but we're working on PoE 2. Oh, we'd love to add like, you know, Havoc's like start at a specific time, but we're working on PoE 2. And so a lot of the racing community is just like, all right, let's let the game cook, let's let the game marinate for a while, and we're just gonna see where Grinding Gear Games wants to go with this and what they want to do for racing.
Yeah.
I have had the thought like cross my mind a few times, like, what if I just like put like $50 down and just let anybody donate like for a prize pool or something for a race? Because little lore about me, I love watching StarCraft 2, and one of my favorite content creators, he put together like a Patreon specifically for 2v2 tournaments, just because he enjoys the format a lot. And it went from like putting $100 down to I think like having like $1,000 like monthly cups, just
crazy.
like on that Patreon. Yeah, with the grand finals like having a lot more, and so that is something that we would look to do in the future, but not right now, not in early access.
Yeah. Man, like something Jaren in the chat said earlier, he was talking about like the daily cup that they have in Trackmania, and I think like imagine like something like that in PoE, it would be like so cool as well, because like in Trackmania as well, like you'd fall under different brackets, and then you're competing against people of the same skill level as you, and you have like the top dogs and like bracket whatever, and it's like a daily thing, and it just feels like at this point, like in Trackmania at least, it's like automatic, right? Like the devs don't even really have to do anything; they just pick a track and say like, oh, it's like every day just something cycling. But like something like that with PoE would be like insane, right? Like I
really
could,
cool.
that would be so cool to have like a daily leaderboard, and for just to see like you could just like jump in. There's like no opportunity cost whatsoever, and it's like a private league in a way, and you just have like your little bit of fun, like do your 1 hour run and off we go.
I want to say it's Zizarin who came up with the idea of adding like a battle pass. So like the idea is like you get like a battle pass, and then you like play in these races, and maybe you don't need the battle pass to play in the races, but if you buy the battle pass like monthly, bi-monthly, seasonal, whatever, then you play in these like reoccurring races, you get like MTX for it. And like I would do that. I have stopped buying MTX for like a long time, but I'm like a very specific kind of like, you know, player.
Yeah.
That I've played so much that I would really enjoy that. So I don't know if that's like something that would make financial sense for Grinding Gear Games.
I think GG would be surprised by how many players would like actually buy an MTX or something if they know it's like or something competitive like that.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of like the way like Dota does their prize pool, right?
I mean,
the TI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know why they haven't done that.
Cool.
Done that yet? Look.
Well, it's not. We're playing a PvE game, right? Like we're playing like a chill like kill monsters, Diablo, you know.
I mean, it's
version
like
of a game.
it's always like ARPGs have always been PvE VP. Like it's like at the end of the day like a dick measuring contest, right? Like this build does that, and it's like it does this very fast, and like you have people like killing bosses faster, and then people reroll, and so in a way it's like there is competitiveness. It's just not like 1v1. I click your head and you respawn like that.
Cards racing right now, you know.
Yeah, but
right,
true.
yeah. I mean,
No
we're like
downtime.
also like currency racing is a massive thing. Like where you're at the start of the league very incentivized to make as much currency as possible so you can get ahead of the curve, right? Like it's not like as simple as like, oh, just kill monsters. So,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I've always said that like there's no PvP. Anytime somebody clowns on the fact that like PvP is like so bad, I've always said that there is PvP in the game. Yeah. It's when your friend says how many exalts they have and you say how many exalts that you have, or like somebody in your guild, like that's the PvP, you know? Like I have this many divines, oh yeah, well I have this many divines. Like, oh yeah, well I have a headhunter. Oh yeah, well
what was your Actank Katava time? You know, like
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bro, when because I used to race as well, but like Delve, and that was like insane. Yeah. That was so competitive, man. Like to the point where like people were like, you know, there was like feuds, people insulting each other, and, like, all this sort of stuff.
There was a lot of like
hilarious
stuff,
bro.
Yeah,
it was so fun.
The hidden profile players versus the non-hidden,
and it was like
the drama,
scumbags,
the people that were being fed Soulfly versus the people that were paying for it versus the people that like, you know.
Yeah. And like we were like winning ethically, and we're just like giga chatting it out. Meanwhile, like you had people getting fed. Like it's like it was so much fun. It was so much fun, dude. Like I live for that stuff. Like in games, even though like even just watching it was like would be really fun for me.
This whole talk about having races and competition reminds me they removed name and lights.
Yeah, for Period
they
2.
don't have name and lights for Period 2.
I think for Period 2 that was like a conscious thing because they wanted people to take their time and enjoy the game. Like I think one of the biggest. Yeah, for early access. I think they're gonna have it later on for sure.
I need them to add it, dude.
They need that. There's no way.
Career depends on it.
There is no
I
way.
was missing my dopamine hits so bad. But my build also sucked ass on day one, so
you're okay with it?
I think he's okay with it.
Hey, next league, they should add them because
once people have experienced the game, right?
They have to have it. There's no way because I'm pretty sure they're already setting the puzzle. Like they like the name and lights thing that they like it. It gives life to the game, and they wanna have it. That's why I was really surprised when we had none in EA. And
I wasn't that surprised. There was a big like vocal majority, I think, on Reddit specifically that was like, please don't have like name and lights like spoil like the campaign zones.
Oh,
like,
I mean that. Oh yeah.
Like
okay, that makes sense.
Waggle's the first to kill a Shavi, huh? Interesting.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
that part makes sense.
Yeah,
that part makes sense 100%.
Yeah. First to kill the Arbiter, like, dude, I'm in Act 5 right now. What do you mean?
And you don't even know what it is.
Arbiter. Yeah,
well, they could just call it the Pinnacle Boss or something, right? They could change the name and lights for the boiler stuff.
Yeah, but then it's like first to kill the Breach Pinnacle Boss. Like, what is a breach? You know, there's got to be people that would just be spoiled.
No, I think that's fine. For early access, is completely fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think once like this very first iteration of the early access is over, which it will be like as soon as there's like a new league or a new reset or the game actually launches, like I think it's perfectly fine to have name and lights. I think name and lights is good.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, as long as we have it when the game launches,
Also, I think that name and lights won't be as spammy as it is in PU1. Because the issue is you see like Havoc is the first enter, Havoc is the first enter, Havoc is the first enter, right? That's kind of the problem. I think the zones are so expansive and they're so large that you spend a lot longer in these acts, in these zones.
True. I think I did hear someone said that they might do the levels only every 5 levels, but I think that's
bad too. Yeah, I mean, there's only 100 levels to get. Like it's really not that bad.
It's only one.
It's not that many, guys.
It's not that many. Especially in this game, it's not gonna be spammy. I can fucking tell you, it's not gonna be spammy at all. So fucking the guys rank 1, he's level I don't know 99, 98, and then a week later it's like, oh, I'm 99 now. Like,
yeah. that should be cause for celebration. You know?
He says as
Okay,
the screen flashes.
you actually made me think of a question. Actually, something I talked about on stream a little bit is. So I've done some testing. I think group play might be like fresh start as fast as Twink runs, like solo.
Oh shit!
Like it might be like 3 hours or 2 hours faster than like a solo run, like group fresh start versus solo fresh start. If that was true, would that change how you guys like league start? And do you think that would change how other people league start?
I think if I was like taking it competitively, I'll do anything to get an advantage that isn't like cheating, right? So, like if it's better to practice with Jung Grown every single day and play with him and the boys, yeah, sure, why not? I'll do that. The issue is like I think XP is going to be really hard to manage. It's the biggest reason why I don't like group play in PvE1 currently is like, oh dude, let's split up Act 2, and then it's like, if you've never practiced Act 2, splitting it up like 3 different ways, you're so cooked. Yeah.
I think it's easier in this game though. Like party play just seems easier. And to your point about XP, I feel like keeping up XP is like kind of easy right now. You just kill rare monsters and you have to pick a good AoE build. Like
I mean, currently you just kill everything, right? You just kill everything you come across while you're like clearing the zones. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but I have no friends, so I have no idea how the party play plays out. You know what I mean?
Ty, do you want to do a group run later?
Hell no.
Wow.
So, dude,
sorry, my bad.
Well, I didn't want to though, so just.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, nah, I get it. I get it, man.
I think it'd be cool to have like a separate bracket though, because like if naming lights is completely dominated by teams, that kind of diminishes like the solo gamer Giga Chad.
I mean, no, but the problem is if you want to be a solo gamer, you have to play SSF. That's all.
Yeah,
that's what his question. To his question, I don't care because I play SSF.
Yeah, fair enough, actually. Fair enough. But at least then make like migrating functional. That way, somebody like if he wants to have like naming lights, he could still migrate.
I mean, that's a priority for them. So I'm not, I'm not gonna sleep over it.
Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised. Yeah, like I'm not worried about this because like we will be able to migrate.
Yeah, we'll be. Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I've definitely like league started before in like softcore trade and like been mad that I'm like losing to some Russian team because I didn't send any practice runs and they've clearly like practiced really well and they're like beating me and they're just a couple zones ahead and I'm like these little group play rats. But that's just like, bro, if you're gonna get mad about that, just go play as a tough,
Yeah.
I think the problem, like, I was looking at it from the perspective of Delve. It was like, there was
dude,
solo
Delve
and
is
group,
cooked.
and that was like, and people would like group play to like 4K and then do one node solo, and then it's just like,
yeah.
Like, all you guys soloing now, you can't no naming lights for you. It's like that was terrible, man. That was the
what do you mean you're not funding yourself with 6
I
people
mean,
of currency?
Listen, man, SSF is nice. Just play SSF.
Yeah, I mean, I went to SSF and I got first 6K in SSF ever as well, man.
There it is.
But then, like, doing it in trade is cool because you can min max, right? Like to the level
you can craft your own gear and everything.
Yeah.
To a level that you can't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
I know what you mean.
I think the problem there is that there was the distinction between solo and group, but you could cheese it basically. Like you could basically just cheat and then like take all the solo rankings, even though you've never stepped foot in a solo mine.
Yeah. That part's cooked. But
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like every time I want like an upgrade for my character when I play trade, like by the time that I want it, I feel like it never exists. And so maybe it's just because like, I stopped playing after like a week or two. But like no matter if I'm playing PvE1 or PvE2, when I want an item, it's almost so hyper specific or so good to the level of like this doesn't exist, so I need to make it myself. And so I end up playing like SSF Lite, but I have like, the currency exchange and I can trade for essences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've always like crafted my own stuff, even when playing trade.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
It
if
feels
other
like
people have
it's caught
experience
up
doing the
now.
same.
But
Yeah, like definitely, like this late into the like early access, you just go buy the gear because it exists.
Get anything.
Yeah.
Or like at the start, everything felt like so insanely expensive that it was just like
yeah, exactly.
like,
it's
it was
just so infeasible. I mean, it's always going to be like that. Like, oh, it's 40 divines for an upgrade on my weapon, or I can just hulk every single weapon that I come across, or every single base I come across. Like, which one do you think I'm gonna do?
Yeah. Like the first few days,
Which
I
one
was
do you
setting
do?
up live searches for blue items so that I could like gamble
Dude,
an essence
yeah.
to like upgrade it into a rare. So then I could just that was the only way for
Yeah,
me to
so-
feasibly get
yeah.
items.
These
That
are
is
way
some,
too
like,
rare, by the way.
insane- What, getting upgrades?
No, the
Essences.
great essences. They're way too rare
Oh,
for
yeah.
how bad they
Yeah,
are.
I agree.
Like if it was like okay, you use a great essence, just gives you the mod you want, like an old essence did. I'd be like, okay, that's insane. Yeah, they should be that rare, but right now it's just it's a regal reforge. It's a harvest reforge, but on a regal pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's so bad. It's like I think I waited. I remember I had two tabs full of weapons with like 2 good mods that I wanted to get off torments for Fizz,
Nope,
and
they don't exist.
they don't exist. I found one. I don't know, maybe like a week ago, something like that.
Yo, Grats.
And I had like 2
easy.
tabs worth full of weapons I could have used it on.
I found
So,
one the other day too. It's pretty hype.
Yeah.
Yo.
I've
Yo,
only found one,
dude.
by the way, just one.
Yeah, I found one too. That was like that's great, dude. They kind of need to make them a lot. They need to make them a lot more common for sure.
Yeah.
At the start of my mapping, I instantly rushed the essence nodes, and
Yo,
then I instantly
same.
rushed like
So
the
everybody did.
essence that got multiple, and I was
Yep.
like, dude, I'm gonna craft the best gear. And then
Same.
like I didn't find any essences almost at all, like difference wise, like
Oh.
between having the essence nodes or not. And then I never found like the giga essences, and I was like, dude, I'm unspecking this garbage. Like I'm in T9 maps right now, and I found like 3 essences. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is not it. This is sucks.
I like map system was hard too without like the map nodes.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
yeah.
Hopefully, it was
kept going
bugged.
down.
I don't know if you noticed, but like early on, it was bugged. It would not drop from tier 15s. Like if you killed the map boss in
Oh,
tier
yeah,
15, it
yeah.
would not drop maps.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I noticed that after the first couple of months, I was like, "Where are my maps?" And so then you had to do them all in tier 14 to be able to get drops. It was really, really annoying.
That's rough.
Yeah, the map sustain earlier was definitely a problem. Even going up in tiers was a problem, and then sustaining once you're there was a problem.
I also think it's kind of weird that taking 2 small nodes, like that are right next to the very start of your Atlas tree, being just as good as like a node that you have to path through like a lot of like kind of questionably garbage nodes early on, like getting like the world's smallest amount of quant and rarity. While it's really good for endgame juicing, like, do you really would need that in like T4 maps? Like, not really. Like, you kind of have to path through like
Yeah.
like,
You mean
travel
the bottom
nodes to
right?
get to the bottom right node that gives you
Yeah.
quantity of waste stones. Like, or you could click 2 10% nodes at the very top. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I saw that, yeah.
This is a bit off topic, I guess, but I think it still falls under racing because like these are the decisions that you have to make if you're doing like an endgame race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
on topic. I think. Yeah.
You'll probably be grabbing all those small nodes like before you
Yeah.
path out to anywhere until you have
Yeah.
like at least like X amount of nodes.
Some
Right?
baseline. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's fine though. That's like skill gap, like knowledge gap.
Maybe.
There's a big decision too on whether you want to pick up the rare monsters that have an extra modifier node or not. It's like that
that
does
one?
slow things down, but
Yeah.
it is impactful if your build can't do it.
I mean, if your build can't do it, if you're a racer, like you just chose the wrong build though.
That's true.
I don't think so. I don't think you need it necessarily. Also, the problem with that node is that it makes map bosses very obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I removed it just because I didn't want to have to deal with the temporal bubble, something whatever, but my boss like that.
Yo, it's so funny when like ROG or something has like mass siphon.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or like Shroud Walker, and he's just like flying around the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really weird stuff right now with like the boss nodes. Like the fact that like when you're doing a citadel, it gives you 0 extra like chance for like the fragments, but the bosses become Thanos. It's like the amount of people that are like, oh, I keep dying to citadel boss. It's like, bro, just unspec the nodes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
true.
It's
I have to do it on
no sense.
+4.
Yeah,
Dude.
and it like gives no bonuses or anything. Just like, what's the point?
Given like their mindset on like improved accessibility and stuff, I feel like they might just make that like not work. Because like that's a bad game design. If like sure you have the goal, but forcing people to respec every time before you do a citadel, that's like I don't know, it just seems weird. Like I don't think they like that.
It's bad design. I think there. It's like a oversight. It feels like.
I do think that rares and unique should be separated for a node like this.
I agree. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't it even specifically state rare monsters?
No, it does. It does. Rares
Rares and
uniques.
unique, I think.
Oh, it
Yeah,
says res
rare
and
and unique
uniques.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. In softcore, if you don't click that node, you're trolling, right? Like, at least like if you're not racing to one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
What percent
I
have
feel
you
like
gotten, Corin?
how many percent? I'm at 2% when I'm pumping.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Damn.
My XP power is really bad because I'm setting up maps, but yeah. See, that's one thing that I don't like at all. By the way, like
The map setup, so annoying.
Oh my god, I hate it so
Oh,
much.
Karn and I had a
Oh, yeah.
discussion about this. You can go ahead and give
Yeah.
your thoughts on it.
Oh, okay. Like the problem
Open
with
up
this
Pandora's
is
box.
the thing is,
Well,
like,
no,
you have to spend so much time traveling through bad layouts because I think that's one of the key problems too. Is there's so many bad maps and so few good maps, and you spend most of your time traveling through nodes that have nothing on them, and it's a mire or an augury or a Valve factory, stuff like this, just to get to the tower so you can juice up the correct maps. And a lot of the times too, you will try to juice up the maps that you care about, but you will miss. And the only way to avoid missing is just going deeper and deeper and deeper into the atlas so you can recursively activate your towers. And that's so annoying to do. I just want to activate my tower when I get to it and run the maps that I want to run, right? And if I have to travel through a couple of ones that are bad, then so be it. But there's way too many bad layouts. There's way too much micromanaging, and I don't know, it's just not fun in the end. Because probably, I think a lot of the problems have to do with too many bad layouts. Too many maps are not fun to run.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how...
I think. What if? Consider this. What if they added a brand new system that lets you, like, let's say, I don't know, favorite the maps, and then you could like choose which maps you liked running, and then it was like, yo, I really like this map layout. Oh, I don't like this one. Let's kick it out. You know, it's just, I don't know, just a crazy thought.
It's pretty crazy, man.
I mean, how would it work though? Is it be because the only way I can see it working is if it made your tablets more likely to affect the maps that you favored? Because I don't think you can. Or would it be like what? That you're more likely to generate the maps you favorited than when you travel?
Yeah, like anything. Let's say that like you're running through your atlas and it's procedurally generated. As it generates like more layouts, like as you get further out on the outskirts, and it like generates those like outskirt like layouts, they'll be less likely, or they'll be more likely to be like the ones you favorited.
Yeah. I mean, we do unlock a favorite slot when we do tier 15 or tier 16, so you know, it's somewhere in there.
Okay, I have a take, which I don't know if it's crazy or not. Like, just remove the current endgame system and just take the PoE one endgame system and just place it here.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I don't know if it's crazy. Like,
they can keep the
I
graphic
mean,
and stuff, but like, work our way up the atlas, and
then you have
it's like
Void
when you get
Stone.
to T16s, it keeps going. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it like does something cool. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like an Eater and an
I
Exarch.
hate the PoE2 mapping system. Like, I'll be honest, boys. Like, exactly what Karn mentioned. Like, it just makes me not want to log in. Like, it's really unfortunate. I don't want to do Breach. Like, even though like I love Breach, it's so much fun. But I just don't want to do it because it's like the setup, and then it lands on seepage, and you're just depressed. It's like
it lands on a mire.
Augury.
Valve Factory, the number one. Valve Factory is the number one.
It's
the absolute
worst. It's so sadistic. Like, whoever designed that hates us, bro. Like, I don't understand.
It's like gigantic, no monsters, bad mob type. Like, GG.
So bad. Like, the mob type is insane too. No, like the amount of times that I went into that map, like early on when my character wasn't OP, and I just like I walk down the stairs and then I die. It's like, what the like that happened like 4 times where I just like literally walk down the stairs, die.
Like, my build was bad at first, but it's like, no, these mobs are actually insane. Right?
It's crazy. And then like I had it once where like one of the monsters was like stuck in the floor and it was immune, and it was just like shooting me with like some bow. All in Valve Factory, bro. Complete the map.
That's badass.
Like, if they honestly, if they fix that, like endgame would be for me 5 times more enjoyable. It's not even close. Like a 500% multiplier.
Yeah, I think I said the exact same thing. Like 500% multiplier. Just let me run maps that are fun to run.
Yeah.
And let me not get stuck in everything when I play Stampede. Because
I mean,
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
change it like 100%, right? Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, it'll
Elder
get
Rings in
better.
PoE 1, right? Like they didn't like Elder Rings. It's like basically the same thing. Like it's gonna change 100%.
Yeah.
100%. It will be better.
How about would it be, you think, if you could just choose which tower affected by a tablet? You literally just choose them. Would that be bad? Would that be too much?
You want to click every map?
Well, I mean, actually, yeah, if people complain about this, having to click every map.
You gotta click 11 maps every time you put a tablet in. Like,
Yeah, actually, people complain about
it would be an
this.
improvement, but like still.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like they really tried to be like, no, we can't do that like PoE 1. But they did that in like too many places when it's like, but in PoE 1 you guys did a really good job at it. Like why are you just like, no, they're not maps,
True.
they're waystones, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, they're not sextants, they're precursor tablets. You know, it's like what, like sometimes it's like, yo, you guys made a really fucking good game. You remember that game? Like there's some things that you could just like, it's fine for you guys to just port it over. We're not gonna call you lazy. Like it's fine. I don't understand. Like why are scarabs not a thing? You know? And that's like what the precursor tablets are in a way. Like an
Yeah,
annoying
that's what they are.
scarab. Like an annoying scarab. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I think they wanted to do something different. I think that's fair because you don't want PoE2 to be PoE1. You just want it to be PoE. So that's why I don't mind at all. Yeah. But like, yeah. The layouts. I think just less Myers, more sand speeds, please. Like that's
Although Sandspit sometimes is like too rare, isn't it? They go so far on the side of like, oh, it's a good layout, so you're not like,
well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though, because in general, when a layout is bad, you have a lot of monsters and stuff. But the Ball Factory, for example, is gigantic and there's no monsters.
There's no mobs.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'd be okay with it if you had monsters. I would suck it up.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd still hate it.
I mean, I would suck it up. I would not like it, but I would be like, okay, at least I'm getting stuff in there.
Like cells in PoE 1, you put a cells in, you know, you have like good density.
Okay, yeah, it's really bad though.
It is bad. I played it once with like Flicker Strike with 200 teleport range, and it would clear the map in one click. It was pretty good. It was just like.
I will say Herald of Ice makes bad layouts a lot more bearable. Like before I could do Herald of Ice, it was pure misery because you're indoors.
Yo, it's gonna be gone soon, man. Like I don't know.
I know that's why I'm getting as much as I can while I can. Hopefully I'll get 100 before it's gone.
One more map.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to play as much as possible until it's gone. But it's 100.
What if GG comes and they're like, "No, we like all those things. We designed them."
Dude,
that'd be crazy.
I'm logging out.
That's not what they marketed the game as. They were like, "Yo, this is different. This is PoE 2. This is Dark Souls, Elden Ring. You're gonna be rolling and fighting bosses and attempting them 700 times and stuff." Like, and then it's like, okay, Control C, Control V, PoE 1. It's like kind of what it feels like for endgame. So it's kind of the whole identity crisis thing you guys are talking about at the start. Like, that's how I feel. It's just, it's kind of fun, but like it's not what I expected, you know? So
yeah.
Sure. I agree. I think it's gone too far on it's even like more like zoomy than PoE 1 in some aspects.
I think you guys need to play Warrior without Herald Device and then you will see the vision.
Yeah, true.
Because I think a lot of the Warrior actually feels like it's a PoE 2 class in PoE 1. Because the game kind of feels still like PoE 1 when you play it. Like they see as many monsters running at you. They see as fast, they see fuck you up as much, but it's you're playing a PoE 2 character.
Like the monster design is like so dissonant to like what they would originally want us to do, right? Because like speed auras are still there, like all these crazy modifiers are still there and they stack. It just doesn't feel
like
fair.
For example, no phasing in ritual. You're surrounded, you have nowhere to go, and you're surrounded by a bunch of monsters with no phasing, and you're not supposed to be able to build them up instantly. So for example, when you play a warrior without any kind of pops, that's what happens. You get like my day 1, day 2 experience was like that. I would do a ritual, get railed by a billion monsters that I cannot kill fast enough because if I try to attack, it takes 3 seconds to wind up, and I just get stunned in the middle of it, and then they're just sitting.
And the waves are pushing you around, and
just
the
monsters are pushing you around.
Such a frustrating experience. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's definitely a disconnect there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what if Endgame was just a bunch of bosses? It's like not even about like killing mobs. It's just bossing.
Log in, dude. I'm logging
Log in.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like Act
logging in.
1, but
logging
like
out.
on steroids. Really? Logging out.
Act 1 was so
Well-
fun. Act 1 was so fun.
Well, are we talking like you are just Elden Ring, just spamming bosses on repeat, or are you like doing a map and every map has like a boss in it? Because those are two very different
Some
things.
sort of middle ground. It's not like
Yeah.
you just only boss arenas. They're like tiny elder circles that can PvE1.
Fucking boss gauntlet.
A little bit of map, but like yeah, every map has a boss, and it's like more
Yeah.
about like learning how to beat harder and harder, more mechanical, challenging bosses and stuff.
I think that's part of the reason why Warrior feels so bad right now. It's like it's good against bosses, but you never fight bosses.
Yeah, maybe.
So, because I remember playing through Axe, you're suffering while moving through zones. I mean, I guess you guys didn't play Warriors yet. But if you play Warrior, you get bullied by trash mob and you destroy bosses. And so, like doing the Axe, when you're playing, you're just literally you're going through zones, suffering, and just looking forward to the next boss. Pretty much, that is the experience playing Warrior. And
Maybe I'll give Warrior a try on speedrunning.
yeah, sure. I think it's probably pretty good for campaign. I think it's probably up there.
Because armor's still viable.
I mean, armor is really good in campaign. It's true.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I don't know if it's really. I mean, maybe it was really good. I didn't play enough to know. But
Yeah.
I feel like in Dreadnought is like where you want to get some armor. That's when it starts to feel good.
you want block. I had armor. I had no block. I was getting destroyed.
Yeah, I mean that's true. When I went through all my like Deadeye, I had a bunch of evasion. It was like a non-issue. Dreadnought.
Yeah.
But if you have block, it's like similar experience there.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, we talked about a bunch of shit, but is there anything else like you guys wanted to maybe add to the discussion? Maybe about speedrunning and stuff, where you hope it goes, or like just any in general.
I hope we get support from GGG. Hope it's like something that they want to work with us on.
I think they said that. I think I remember them saying something about how they actually like races and they want to have races. It's just that it was difficult for them. There was like some problems basically around it.
It was just they need dev time for PvE2. They can't be having dev time to make like a bunch of like stuff for PvE1.
If they want it to be a thing, it can be a thing. Like it's kind of just up to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if anybody from GGG's listening, like, hey, reach out. We got the boys here. They're always open to giving feedback and that kind of stuff. So, like, if there's any like sort of event you guys are like thinking about or like any of that stuff, I'm not saying like do what we want you to do, but just at the very least, like, reach out to get the idea of people who've been doing this for years and years and years and years. I think that would be a good place to start, right?
Feedback is like do anything. Like,
yep, that's my feedback.
I don't mean that to be like in a condescending way or anything. It's like, they're really good developers and stuff, right? Like, like they design good stuff. Just try stuff. It might not be perfect the first time, but like
get in the kitchen,
do it better next time, right? So yeah, get in the kitchen. That's a good phrase. Yeah.
Put the map in.
Maybe start with like short form stuff, right? To begin with, at least to sort of like more bite-sized races for people to get into it, as opposed to like pinnacle boss race. Like those are super intimidating.
No pinnacle.
Yeah, no pinnacle stuff. The Giga endgame stuff is
just takes too long, right? Like expecting somebody to be awake or like to do what Karn does, it's just insane.
Well, what do you mean? It's
okay, but like like us mortals, Karn, like we need to sleep, yeah.
What do you mean? I slept too much actually. I was sleeping too much.
Yeah, it's like,
dude, do you know how miserable I was playing classic WoW? And I have to keep pace with my group, and Karn's just like doing like a casual like 40-hour into 40-hour session, and I'm like, Karn, I want to sleep. Karn, please.
Listen, I couldn't do it. I'm a mere mortal.
As soon as Ziz and Steel died in our hardcore group, I knew that I was gonna get owned because Ziz and Steel were like just ever so slightly behind me, and so I had this nice little buffer. And then as soon as they died, I'm racing against Rise QT, who's like Giga Speedrunner Classic, and then I'm racing against Karn, who's literally just doing like the five back 40-hour sessions, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can keep up with this guy.
He's just actually built different, you know.
He's him. I don't know. How can play?
God of long
I think like real talk though, like I don't think GG should waste their time thinking about racing and stuff unless they think it's like a good financial reason or whatever. They need to like kind of just work on the product, like you know, content, just optimize things, just make the base game good, right? Because like
make PoE as good as it could possibly be.
they want to release the game in a year potentially. Like I don't think they can hit that. Like I feel like this needs 2 years right now.
Yeah, not at the pace that we're looking at right now for sure. If you think about it, like 10% of the early access has already elapsed. Like crazy.
Holy.
Like if we're looking at like when they want to actually release, like the 6 months.
Yo, that's actually true. Holy.
Oh, crazy.
Wait, they said 6 months to 1 year, right? That's
well, they said that they're looking at about 6 months, but
no
like
way.
we all know,
no way 6 months. That's some
so big bare minimums 1 year probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Havok. No, like they should just not worry about all this stuff. For example, another thing they should not worry about is all the, you know, people keep yapping and molding about rarity and stuff, and I'm like, how does that even matter right now? Like, why do people care about this right now?
Well, it matters because like for a lot of people, PoE is a currency grinder. Like that is their PvP. Like that's how they have fun.
Yeah.
But you are right though. Like the base game and game systems are way more important, of course.
Yeah.
They should sacrifice dev time making the game better to like focus on the rarity problem. But I think that like, you know, if it's like, hey, well, let's just have like a quick little meeting to talk about what we're gonna do with like Magic Vine, like I don't think that's a bad thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that should not be the focus.
Yeah, but it feels like such a like thing where they could just go in and like type a number and then it's solved, right? So I don't think it would take that much like dev resources or time. But I mean, I have no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a dev, so I don't want to speak on like here's how it works, you know.
Here's what you should do.
I'm not gonna full Reddit it, you know. Well, what they need to do is just change the game and make it good.
True.
True and real.
For it to be a true Reddit thread, you have to actually get like AI to write it for you. Otherwise, like I'm not really gonna be like reading your thing. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Word. I mean, it's got to have like the credentials that are like 5 pages long of like I deployed since beta and I'm this many years old.
The credentials. You like print out your CV.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Qualified. It's qualified.
Yo, you're asking about community stuff. Apparently, the speedrun.com/PoE2 leaderboards are open.
Yeah, they're open.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's 4 submissions. I think.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
Rank 1 warrior time for Act 3 is 4 hours 1 minute. That's pretty good.
That's
I think.
For Act 3? That's
pretty
actually
pretty good.
Wait a second.
Man, I told you where it's good.
Dude, times 2. That's sub 8. That's sub 8, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, warrior rank 1. Confirmed.
I mean, that's the only thing he's good at though. Like once you get to end game, but you better reroll and do the campaign again.
What do you mean, dude? You just click Herald Device. It's not getting nerfed. It's not.
I mean, I'm down because I'm having fun. I would like it to stay. I'm not gonna lie. I would like it to stay.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. It might be OP, but it's fun.
All right, boys. We went over we're chatting now for like 2 hours. So that's that about sums it up, boys. Without dragging out for too long. Thanks for coming. It was really nice talking to you guys, and I do really hope to see that like more races and stuff like that come in the future. Hopefully in the not so distant future, but yeah, I'm hoping like maybe in like a year from now, then the game will sort of have like settled down, established, then we can start seeing that kind of stuff. But yeah, you boys better start practicing, because I'm expecting big things from you boys.
I mean, I can't wait to be done with this so I can start doing some campaign, because that looked fun. That looks like it would be fun
campaigns
to
like the
practice campaign.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of
boys.
speedruns that are fun. Yeah, GG's though. Love you guys.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you got something to say, Tai, hey, say it. But it's not like we're on the clock, bro.
Oh, I guess that's true. Listen, the last half an hour I've been just tobbing, so.
Oh, you've been tobbing?
Say bobbing?
I've been caramboning.
Wait, what do these words mean?
Rating. I've been rating in RuneScape.
Wow. Oh, that game. Okay.
That-
I don't know why I assumed
Wow.
WoW.
No, I was rating in WoW, but I've been rating this tier. It's been awful. It's been miserable. Don't do it. WoW sucks. WoW is genuinely the worst game. Don't play that.
Yeah,
That's,
wow,
that's what every WoW player says.
Yep. Actually, the worst game I've ever
it's
played.
genuinely
Don't
really
play it.
bad.
Yep. Don't do it.
Okay, where's the closing one? Tai. Someone got a 43-minute Act 1 on Warrior. Isn't that kind of insane?
What, dude? I'm
Yeah.
loading it up.
I mean, I told
Yeah.
you. I told
Oh
you.
my
I don't
god!
know.
Like my
Warrior's meta.
52-minute run, like definitely could have been better, but that's crazy.
But like,
I told you.
who's moderating this? Like, how do you know he didn't have like Twinkie or some shit?
Yo,
like,
verified by Balar.
Balar
Oh,
actually
oh.
looks through a lot of
wait,
these
it actually
runs.
looks, and it's like a
He
vault.
actually watches the whole VOD. It's crazy.
Yeah, he
But
actually
that's
watches
wild.
it. It was one of the things that we have because like we don't have like a super secret like race chat. We just have like a speedrun like chat, and we just go like, "Hey, should we do like all skill points or like any percent? Like,
Mm.
how should we do it?" And like straight up, one of the things that I answered was, "Yo, I'm gonna be honest. Like, until they add migrate all, like, I am not verifying a single run. Like, you got me fucked up if you think that I'm like watching these runs to make sure that they're like
Yeah.
not checking their stash."
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, don't you buy from Stash if you talk to an NPC? Like, if you have enough
Yeah.
currency, you can just so yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, now you only buy with gold, right? So, and your gold is displayed. You no
Mhm.
longer buy with rocks. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
a-
I guess that's true.
It's
Everything
a
is
lot
gold now.
easier. Yeah, everything's gold.
Yeah,
Vendors are all
everything's gold.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It's
I
part of the
think-
reason why I actually think it kind of owns because you don't use currency
Yeah.
for getting gems, and you don't use currency for getting
Mm.
what's it called?
You're more incentivized to use
Like
it. man.
items. Yeah, you just literally use every single thing.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I think like racing and like community started stuff, like grassroots stuff, has like way bigger potential just because like there's way more players playing the game.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah,
the sheer numbers. And like these names I see on the leaderboard, like I don't recognize these people at all. Like, and I feel like a lot of existing PoE1 players, they don't have like preconceived notions about racing, about why they don't want to do it or what have you, right? I feel like a lot of the new players, like they kind of just don't care. They're kind of just like god gamers from like other games. I'm like, yo, they're
There
like,
was
I'm down
a-
to plug in.
there was literally some guy whose name I've never seen before. He's not a PoE1 speedrunner. He just
Yeah.
started playing PoE2, and like he was giving me like actual good advice on like PoE2 campaign stuff. Like he actually
Yeah.
was kind of a knowledge gapper. Like
Pretty sick.
he knew the tech.
I mean,
I
like
was pretty
imagine right
surprised.
now if you make like a Queen of the Forest character and you just go practice every zone like 100 times.
Yeah.
You'd be like the literal god. Like knowing these layouts is like insane.
How are layouts actually in Axe right now? Aside of the fact that they might be class specific. Like, are they
Yeah,
actually?
Some are kind of cooked.
Which ones?
Some are kind of weird. I'm thinking in particular, like there are some. Oh my god, there are some layouts where like I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one that you after you open up the tree or whatever, and you go underneath, like into the place where
Oh, Grellwood.
Una sings. Yeah, Grellwood.
Okay, actually,
In
no, it's a
there,
Grim
there's-
Tangle. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some layouts that are like you almost like have to go into the mini boss, and there's other layouts where like you just completely avoid it just by going like the standard way.
Okay, that's actually a meme. I
That's
don't know why
insane.
that exists. Yeah.
Because I was wondering like how different it would be compared to P1 layouts. Is it actually like, fully random? Well, not fully random. It's like a few set. Because they said they wanted something to be like completely randomly generated.
It feels a
actually
lot
the
less
case?
random than PoE1, man. For some reason.
Oh, less random. Okay.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
feels like there's like a couple, like 1 to 3 variations per class for like certain layouts. And like
Yeah.
I think that's actually really good because it makes it like so accessible compared to like PoE1. Like Tai knows, like some layouts there's like 20 variations. And like if you
Yep.
want to blast, you kind of have no choice but to memorize them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like Belly of the Beast 2, man. Like this.
Yeah.
Person.
Like there's for example, like you know the layout where like the filth lady, forget what she's called. He's unforgettable. But
Oh yeah, Apex of Filth. Yeah.
Apex of
That
Filth,
layout's
like
pretty easy,
as long as
actually.
you follow like the right wall and you go all the way
Yeah.
around, you will always
Yeah.
end up at her, for example. Like it's kind of
Yeah,
like
no.
just set in stone that like if you do that, you're gonna get there. So there, I feel like there's like a lot more of these things that are just like if you know the rule on how to run this
Yeah.
layout, you're just like 10 times better off because like if you start going off in like random directions, you just end up in a maze. Like, and a lot of the layouts are mazes.
Oh yeah. If you don't know, it's so punishing. But yeah, that
Yeah,
zone in
yeah.
particular, I think it only has like 2 variations.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Right.
left to right loop.
Or like Utsal is always the same layout, for example, as well. Like it's
Yeah.
always the same.
Hmm.
Right, Drowned City too. I mean, yeah, like I feel like once people start knowing layouts, the times will like drastically go down for sure.
As we
So
get
you
better
get-
as well. Like when I'm not getting farmed by a boss, my times are pretty decent. Compared to like, oh, I died. Oh, I died again.
Mm.
But again, that comes down to a lot of like gear. Like, oh, I one phase the boss versus like, oh, I have 7 ad phases. Like,
Massive stat check. Sure.
All right, here's a question for you guys. Before Acts 5, 6, or yeah, 5, 6, 7. Wait, it's 5, no, 4, 5, 6. Do you think it's time for a blitz or a team blast?
like
Oh,
I'd be down, yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
down, yeah.
I think community ran events are cool.
Okay.
Like what kind? What type though? Like the usual 2 bosses and stuff.
Well, I mean,
I feel like
Blitz
boss
is, like,
races are cooler than the XP
Yeah.
races.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think from a
People
viewer
generally
perspective, way cooler.
Yeah, you know.
There's that
the Act
suspense of
1,
like,
Act
is he
2,
gonna kill the
Act 3.
boss or is he gonna die?
Yeah.
And then that like gives
Yeah.
time for people
Well,
to
especially
catch up
now.
and stuff.
Especially now,
Mm.
dude.
We also don't have private leagues, so it'd be a little weird doing like, all right, 2 hours are up. You
That's
know,
true.
Right.
like check your XP. It could be doable, but
No, I don't really like the XP. Also because you don't lose XP in the campaign, so it's like if you're
Yeah.
ahead, you're ahead, right? Like it's kind of hard to not stop being ahead.
that's kind of how just racing in general is, though. But yeah,
Well, I mean, I suppose, but yeah, I don't know. And, like that's the worst thing for me. Like if I'm watching a race and it's like, oh, it's over before it's like fucking
Oh,
barely
yeah.
even started. Do you know what I mean?
What
Yeah, I know.
kind though? Depends what type of race. Are you talking about the XP races?
Well, in some cases, like if I'm watching you guys do Act 10 and it's like a 1v1 race or something, like if one guy screws up, then it's like it's basically just over.
watching a hardcore race and one of the competitors dies, like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean that's like unfortunate, but like if that can be sort of avoided as much as possible in the format, then that would be ideal, right? Like that would sort of like give a bit of suspense to the race.
I
I
mean,
think races have to be softcore, right? Just like you don't want to see like top people just dying in like the first zone. It's like, oh, it's over,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah. I don't think
They
so.
have to be
It has to be
softcore.
softcore, yeah.
There
for,
could be like a
for the
penalty for
races.
dying, but like minus 10 seconds or something, I suppose. I don't know, or like how it
I mean,
was.
that
Like
died
you
in
guys would
the-
freeze.
Maybe a minute. Yeah,
I thought it was
Fun,
in
yeah.
Exile Con, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
just
we've
get stuck
asked
in
for
place.
features like that, and it was one of those like, maybe in PoE 2.
Oh well, it's time. It's
It's
time.
it's
It's here.
now,
It's
baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
now it's maybe on the actual release, like a year in or something, you know.
Uh,
Maybe in PoE 3, you know.
maybe.
Maybe 4, like, yeah.
Oh man, hopefully not, boys. Hopefully not.
Surely, right?
And hopefully they give me Delve back. That would be sick, dude.
I mean, the
I
current
mean,
Atlas system kind of is dull. They just throw a
is that-
leaderboard
it
on
is
top
No,
and like
bro,
distance
no.
away from center. Boom,
don't
there
do,
you go.
Don't do
Like,
Delve dirty like that, bro. You take that.
distance away from
You know,
center.
you-
There you go. There's your leaderboard.
The same thing.
You
Yeah.
keep her name out your mouth.
But
Oh shit. Like, I would be down.
For sure. All right, that's it,
Word.
boys. I'm pulling the
Alright.
plug. 2 hours,
Alright,
20
plug.
minutes.
Alright,
We did
alright,
well.
alright.
Pulling the plug on racing.
Jeez.
Confirmed.
Pulling the
It's over.
plug.
yeah,
Be
it's over.
platformed.
Nobody cares.
Who cares? No
Shut
one's gonna watch
up.
this anyways. GG news.
Yeah, GG noobs.
You heard that, chat? You're
Alright.
nobody.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
God.
nothing. You're worth less than a summer ant.
Or if you joined in and watched up to this part, I appreciate you genuinely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah,
you
thanks.
all.
thanks
07
for watching.
boys. And everyone on
Bye,
YouTube,
boys.
everyone on Twitch. And thank you,
Love you
boys,
guys.
very much for joining.
Bye.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one, boys. Good luck on 100.
GG's.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you.